Hello, chat! We have returned! Rumors of my death have been largely exaggerated, but not completely exaggerated. But we're in color. I'm wearing my neon green lipstick. It must be space night. It must be time for Exit to Eden. A world of darkness in space, or worlds of darkness in space, however you like to conjugate. I am the GM for tonight and the channel producer. This is Magic Fish Radio, and we do TTRPG streams on Tuesdays and Saturdays. We are currently recruiting for our various games and game nights. Join our Discord and look for the link to our application form there, or look for it on Twitter. But join the Discord. Everything's there, and I'm much better at Discord than at Twitter. Thank you, mods.
Both of us just like, hey, Nightbot.
Our mods just Twitch jinxed each other in chat, so they have to buy each other cokes.
Oh.
If ever they meet again. In person. No, you will. Cause
we will.
When next you two meet. Anyway, great. My ADHD is doing great today. It's okay. But yes, so we're recruiting for players for this game, or for our, Now, for the next 2 weeks, we're running this because we went on a long hiatus, and I want to run my damn game. After that, we will go back to alternating between Exit to Eden and Indie RPG Night, where we run one-shots of indie RPGs that we find around. Or we are also open to having guest GMs run games that they've made for us, because that's fun. Or if you are just an indie GM who just wants to stream with us for one shot, let us know. Join our Discord. We're cool. And yes, so... Oh yes, Exit to Eden. So it's like regular NWoD, with the 4 main splats of vampires, werewolves, changelings, and mages. Except it is 6,000 years in the future of humanity's... future? Humanity has lost Earth and spread out amongst the stars, and somewhere in the middle of all that, the True Fae tried to conquer the galaxy, also known as a Thurisaz, after which war the veil for all the Supernats fell, and humanity suddenly realized that all these weirdos had been protecting them from unseen forces for millennia.
It was the vampire's fault.
It was the vampires. Someone didn't cover their tracks at a blood bank. Like, you know?
It's quite shameful, really.
Vampires!
I mean, the Masquerade started all of this shit, and they screw it, like, vampires, come on.
You had one job, vampires.
You keep ragging on the werewolves for, eating people, and then you went and do this.
Well, vampires eat people, too.
Granted, but they generally don't leave the half...
They do. Like, werewolves
the
can eat other
half-eaten
things.
Corpses laying around in very obvious positions.
I feel like if we follow this train of thought any further, we're going to figure out why all of the supernatural splats hate each other.
Well, that's the thing about NWoD. In NWoD, it's more like Mets versus Yankees. No one really hates each other, except maybe individually, because a vampire tried to take over a werewolf's territory to build a stadium. Like, that kind of stuff happens. But in OWOD, most of these splats are outright allergic to each other. I.e. Changeling the Dreaming just basically can't hang out with anyone else or they'll just die. Except for Malkavians and Ravnos, wow. But oh, that's maybe worse. NWoD, the splats are much better, not perfectly, but better equipped to work with each other. And since the veil fell, well, for a while, humanity was like, okay, thanks, Supernats. But in the last couple centuries, anti-Supernat meanness has been on the rise, and then the government decided, you know what makes a great scapegoat? Supernats. Because surely if we kick all of the Supernats out of the galaxy, all of the supernatural problems that they deal with will also disappear.
Funny story.
Our party has first-hand information first-hand experiences in the last few episodes that have directly,
contraindicated this.
Yeah. Directly contradict this philosophy. But what are humans what is humanity if not excessively self-destructive? So, because of the anti-Supernatness, there is an underground railroad of people who get Supernats out of mean systems and into nicer ones. And that's where our party comes in. They are all employees, or in one case, the owner of Karve Tourism Ltd, which is a tourist company that is a front for another underground railroad. Our party is from Idun, at least recently. They're currently in the system of Limos, which was, I guess, founded by space Argonauts and not space Vikings. This is another Expanse system that is heading towards a Supernat purge, which other systems in the area in this region of space have also already done, and the survivors washed up on Eden's shores. So, our party is there to deal with this in some manner, whether it's to try and stop it or just try to get people the hell out of the system. Since they've arrived, they have been on the planet of Logoi, which is the main habitable planet in the system, which is just one giant city, kind of like Coruscant in Star Wars. And most of the Supernats have fucked off that planet to a smaller planet called Dysnomia, which is a lot like Mars is to us, only yellow. So it's sort of a piece of shit, barely breathable atmosphere. There's a shipyard and some habitation domes, and all the Supernats went there thinking, surely if we all depart to one concentrated place on a largely uninhabited planet, we'll be safe from the government of this entire system.
Because that's worked before.
Yeah.
Government.
So yeah, with that, I'm gonna tally some GM stuff. And our players can introduce themselves. So on my screen, let's start with Dune.
Yes. I'm Mark. I am playing Dune, the Wolf Blood, from Wolf Country. Wolf Bloods are the lesser cousins of werewolves. They don't change shape, but they do have certain wolf-like characteristics, and that's what sets them apart from the rest of the herd. Dune is supposed to be the weapons specialist of the entire group, and as such I have the heaviest armaments, guns-wise. Whether or not I actually deal the most damage is yet to be seen.
Magic. Okay, Dracus.
But also fable shit.
Yeah, fair. Well, I mean, magic.
Yeah.
Dracus, speaking of magic.
Hi, I'm Dracus. The speaking of magic joke is because I'm playing the resident asshole mage. Current alias is Klaus. It has definitely been at least 4 things before that. I did have a count at one point, but I've forgotten. Yeah, mostly play more of the medic than mage. Don't talk about mage bullshit very often. Definitely not because I didn't understand it for a while. No, not at all. Yeah, so it'll be fun tonight. We'll see what happens.
Okay, next, Josh.
I am playing Petruchio, the PC who owns Karve Tourism. Also the resident hacker, and incidentally a vampire.
Just incidentally, though.
No, just incidentally.
It never comes up.
He's declared himself dead for tax reasons.
Several times.
Several times.
Also, I've been asleep for the last several sessions, so both the player and the character have no idea what's going on. That'll should be it.
It'll be fine.
This will definitely work out in our favor.
Okay, Zardoz.
I am playing Masterson, who is a major for the Inspector General's Office of the Galactic Empire, and is absolutely a totally legit person who is not, in fact, a shape-changer who's infiltrated this organization to be someone else.
I like those odds.
Hmm.
Speaking of good odds,
Never tell me the odds. Sorry.
Woohoo.
Wait, do I have good odds for something? That's
I think
unusual.
That's the
Yes,
that's what
I'm
you imply.
playing Sungrazer. Sungrazer is the sort of washed-up smuggler pilot mechanic type. He usually has too much caffeine in their system, but you know, that's life in space.
I'm not
And
sure
is
if
also
it's
a changeling. Should mention.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure the caffeine thing is is changeling stuff or pilot stuff.
Both.
Yes.
Both.
Sorry, just looking for lost NPCs. I didn't find all of them.
Oh, good. Lost
Woohoo!
NPCs. That'll turn out great.
Smoke monster. We already had one of those actually.
All right.
At least we're out of the hell dimension. That's good news.
What hell dimension?
Exactly.
You know,
I think you mean the what the hell dimension. Anyway.
right now the GM is in the well fuck it dimension, and we're just gonna roll with what I've got. Okay. The werewolves escorted you out of their territory. Like they said, it took them under an hour. You fixed their communications hub. And based on Sungrazer's work with the help of Masterson and Dune, you are pretty sure that will hold for about a month. Because it's centuries old, and centuries of hobbled together what the fuckery tech from different centuries and eras and skill levels and
Magic.
technological philosophies, shall we say. Not as much magic as you'd think, and unfortunately, its proximity to the abyssal wound is degrading it even more than it would be if it were just old. But they set you up with that. You've taken a couple basically narrowband walkie-talkies, so you can talk to them directly. They can make calls out, and you said you would try to help them. So, by the time you get out, it is nighttime. You are not entirely sure how long you were down there because, well, time in the spirit realm is weird enough. Time in a wound, where most of the laws of physics are more like suggestions meant to be ignored. You have no idea. When you get out, Petruchio is still unconscious. Do you head to the ship or somewhere else?
We're the head of the ship or head of the ska bar because we need the thin white Duke if we're gonna go any further with this.
Okay. Your boss is
Dragging
still
Petruchio's body with us.
Did you?
I mean,
leave...
what is gonna revive him more than coffee? Really?
He's a vampire. What do
I'm
you
kidding.
think will?
I'm kidding. Do we keep one on the?
So yeah,
Bring
it's
it back to the ship.
nighttime.
Try to wake him up.
It's maybe 3 a.m. in the morning.
As I recall, we do have Vitae stores on the ship.
Yeah, we'll head back to the ship. If it's 3 in the morning, then we're heading back to the ship.
Which reminds me, chat. We do have buy-ins for chat to buy buffs and nerfs for the players and the GM. You can buy +1s for either side. You can buy custom NPCs, and you can donate channel points towards something I will finally get to probably soon. Which is suggestions for the name of Karve's ship, which they took from... It's a ship with a changeling hollow inside, which is not normal, and as far as Changeling Society knows, these ships were only in the hands of privateers until now, until the Karve Tourism people
claimed one.
They didn't quite liberate it, but they were part of that thing, and they were kind of in the proximity, and one of the
Hey,
local
we killed the
monarchs...
giant rock thing on the inside of it. We know. We want it by right of conquest.
Yeah, the giant rock thing killed the privateers, and then Karve killed the giant rock thing, and then one of the monarchs, the local Idun monarchs, was around, and she's like, "Do you guys want it? Because like Underground Railroad stuff, this is probably going to be useful." So yeah. But, you know, having a holo on your own ship means you can stash all kinds of contraband on it. I mean, not contraband, just, you know, snacks.
Definitely not contraband, you know. Definitely not awakened booze. Definitely not
guns, and you don't, when you don't have carry permits, any of you in the system yet. I say it. So yeah, it's about 3 a.m. You get back to the ship in the shitty part of town, which was the berth you were assigned when you came in through the Stargate, or through the jump gate into the system. Does Petruchio still have permanent marker on their face?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Probably.
I'm not laying it off.
So I just want to know if it's still there.
I certainly haven't washed it off.
Okay.
So, you know, unless someone else has.
I would never dream of touching Petruchio's visage.
I didn't put it there, but I'm also not getting rid of it.
I'm a mercenary, not a bodyguard. I'm not here to stop you from getting a dick drawn on your face.
No one's paying
I'm
it
also,
better.
I'm not a nursemaid.
Also, you know,
I don't know who will, but
I am from the people who definitely do that to each other after someone passes out in the bar. You know, this is no different as far as I'm concerned. You fell asleep first, you get something drawn on you. That's just how this works.
Okay, so y'all get to the ship.
so one of us actually has to put blood in Petruchio's mouth. Is that how that works?
I've got him in a fireman's carry.
Who wants to roll their occult?
My occult is for werewolves.
This seems like a medicine sort of thing.
I'll allow well, yeah, for Klaus, I will allow a medicine check since they also do death magic, and well, this is death. This is the intersection of death magic and medicine is being friends with the vampire.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
With the vampire.
I mean, medicine and occult are only one die different for me anyway, but like
22.
You know, I'm here to literally take care of my party members, so
my dice love rolling explosions when it doesn't fucking matter.
Oh, so chat, the way we run this system is when we started this game, I didn't want to make my players get big bags of dice in the middle of a pandemic with at that point, no vaccines.
That's right. I completely forgot we were playing this way. Let me try that one again because I don't actually
like buckets of dice.
Yeah, I just like threw a whole handful of dice because all I've played in the last month and a half is Vampire.
V5, where we do it the right way. So we've been using a LARP trick I learned with the first edition of NWoD, which is roll 1d10 and then add your dots. Which gives you, so if a 1 is a botch and a 10 explodes, you have a 1 in 10 chance of botching, but you've already seen how my players roll, so I don't feel bad.
2 successes.
Okay.
Most of them, not this one.
We've also seen the time that we botched 3 times in a row on the same task.
Okay.
No, I'm still dealing with that one,
5 botches in a row for that task. 2 by the GM, 3 by us.
Shit happens, man. That NPC really wanted to stick around.
And boy, howdy did they.
So much that he reached out of fiction into reality and made me roll weird. Okay. So did anyone not succeed at this roll?
Well, I didn't roll.
I didn't roll.
Oh, you didn't roll. Okay, who got 3 or more successes?
I got 5.
Okay, you got 5. Masterson got 5. Dracus?
2.
2. Okay. Dune, this might have come up maybe after a company party. Masterson, this probably came up at Clancy's, the Nova/Summer Court bar on Eden, where they have a basement fight club, and vampires like to fight club too. Yes, you really just have to pour the blood into the vampire's mouth. Klaus, you're pretty sure that worked, but you haven't seen it done.
All right, so what I would like to do as the resident jerry rigger is take like 2 poles, like we get Petruchio on a slab or whatever, and just like poke them in the cheeks so that the mouth kind of pops open, you know? So we have to like actually use our hands to get in the fangs and everything, and then set up like a blood bag from the store kind of to drip overhead. And just let it...
You're doing this nice.
This seems
I was gonna
excessive.
Yeah, no,
It's like-
Dune has kind of just got a bag of the stuff and a knife and is just going
Yeah.
on the face. Because that's how he did it when he had to wake up vampires who lost the bar fight.
I was gonna put
The
him in a
last thing that I
chair,
want to
bucket
happen is to
overhead.
wake up a vampire and have him be hungry, you know?
Whose
So.
blood is going in me? I
Well,
mean,
he's-
people got successes, so
Bags.
they might have a sense of how that works.
Well, you said you had blood bags.
Yeah.
Well, we actually, we have ampules of vitae, which isn't even blood, although it's basically blood. It's magic in a, it's like plasma.
Oh, it's vitae. Is it your vitae?
No, it's stored vitae. Remember that we both had the ability to store some vitae on the ship, and I think the ship has the ability to do that anyway. And we had the ability, we were able to acquire some vitae that we picked up on planets.
That's right.
Are we
I
about to
remember.
blood bond you to someone?
Can only hope.
Some random donor.
If it's not coming from a vampire, you won't.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, you probably don't want Dune's blood because it will have a lot of fur in it.
Yeah,
Because
I
Dune's
thought about
Chunky.
giving Petruchio Klaus's blood last time, but decided against that ultimately
Yes.
just because of how drug-addled Klaus is all the time.
The irony of him drinking them drinking the drug blood, and Klaus really is a wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dune's blood is the only one that's technically safe, but
Technically. Technically.
I was not. See, the problem is that Dune has got the liar's skin. So if you cut him, there's a layer of fur that you have to get through to get to the actual vein.
Kinfolk problems.
but it's still human.
I was
blood.
not kidding about the blood being full of fur.
Okay, so there are bags of some form of vitae. I'm gonna say for now, because I don't remember what I said 6 months ago when we went into this, that this is probably an Ordo Dracul thing. If anyone can figure out how to make vitae that allegedly doesn't blood bond people to whoever supplies it, it's the Ordo Dracul,
Mhm.
who are basically the
Allegedly.
kindred that are like, if the Circle of the Crone are like the pagan witchy vampires, these are like the Order of Hermes, Buddhist vampires. It makes sense in my head, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
No.
so you have the thing. You have, I'm sure, a blood point's worth in a small bag. Who's administering the dose and how?
Not it.
I'm setting up this rig. If someone wants to feed
I-
him one before
Yeah,
that
no,
happens,
Dune.
fine.
I will, unless Dune is going to explode the bag all over Petruchio's face, and then I'm going to let you do that because I A, don't want to get in your way, and B, think that would be really funny.
Also that, yeah.
I was gonna
No,
put him in
Dune.
chair for
Dune is
flash.
definitely, Dune has had to, forcibly wake up vampires before who have passed out in the bar because Dune, spent however long as a bouncer / barback.
True, true.
So like he's already got it set up. He's got, the vampire in a headlock, mouth grabbed.
In that case,
Act
I'm
like
just
this.
going to, put a hand on Sungrazer and just be like, don't worry about it.
I'm gonna videotape this for posterity.
Go right ahead. So
I'll put the
Dune-
camera on the end of the rig instead, and then
Yeah.
there you go.
We'll have 2 different angles of it for the next time we have to put together a company video presentation.
So Dune, this is going to be Dex medicine.
Oh God, you were about to die.
Or you.
Dune is not good. Medicine for Dune usually involves dirty rags.
Well, I mean, here you're basically like, plunge your pocket knife into the bag and just get it into his mouth before it drains out.
Yep, basically.
the trick is not to stab the vampire as well.
Yep. Can I use weaponry then? Or survival? Because I am marginally better at either of those than medicine.
I will allow survival.
Okay, there we go.
I mean, it is true that knives do bruising damage against vampires. But
But you've
Okay,
already got
that
two
is-
magic damage from magic rain.
8 and 7 is 15 for 3 successes. Yeah, 3 successes.
Yes. Okay. Oh, custom NPC drops. Yes, we'll look at those in a sec. Petruchio, you were awake.
Dune's got you in a headlock.
Dune's got you in a head in. So I take it you've kind of got like the way you hold someone's head up to make sure that some kind of liquid goes down their throat.
And also to get their mouth open, you know, just...
Yeah.
what state am I in aside from being awake? And also, what am I coming from? Was I dreaming? Was I...
The last thing you remember is being in that hellscape. And it was almost... your beast awoke. And it felt like you were about to Rothschreck or frenzy or something. Just in the presence of a beast that was bigger than your own. Right. But before you got to the point where you would have made a willpower save or the relevant roll, it just lights went out. And now you're on the ship again, and Dune is holding you up like.
And you know. there are no beasts here. There are no other beasts here.
Ish.
Not at the moment, no.
Yeah, there's your beast, but none of the rest of us has a beast, as far as I'm aware.
True.
Yeah.
We're neither proc on the beastometer.
Since Dune is a wolf blood and not a werewolf.
Correct.
And changelings and mages don't have the same thing.
Yeah.
I will say that your body automatically spends that vitae to heal one of your bashing, but otherwise you are at the same level of blood you were when you passed out.
One of the bashing or both of the bashing? Or is it one to wake me up and one to heal bashing?
I'm kind of playing this off the cuff, so I'm going to say the vitae woke you up. I'm not sure if you were at full, then that vitae just healed one of your damage. If you were not at full, then tell me what happens.
I think I was at full,
okay.
or close to it.
Because you don't use a lot of blood burning disciplines, so.
Yeah. Dominate doesn't take blood unless I do.
And you weren't
stuff.
really dominating any of the Magaths.
Yeah, and I wasn't taking a lot, and I wasn't having to soak damage.
Yeah.
And therefore get armor.
Are you back with us, boss?
You know I could probably break your grip if I had to, right?
I'm well aware. However, I decided that as the only one with any kind of experience with waking up a vampire out of this sort of state, that it probably ought to be me and not one of the others whom you might experience some disadvantages from trying to take a chunk out of.
Dune is explaining this all while still holding Petruchio in a gentle headlock.
Yeah. No, it's not a gentle headlock.
Oh, it's not gentle?
No.
Okay.
No.
Von True can take it.
Yeah, but it's, are you not going to rage out on me, boss? If you do, I'm letting go of I will let you go, but if you're going to start flipping out on me, I'm holding on.
I am not in a frenzy. You can let go.
Well, that's something of all right then. And I will let you go.
I take it I cannot, in fact, tell that people drew on my face.
Not yet.
Nope.
So, as it turns out, the area we ended up in is one of those sorts of places that I suppose didn't agree with the vampire, clearly, but werewolves are sworn to not protect them, but rather protect the area around from them, if that makes any sort of sense. So we found the pack of werewolves, or rather they found us, much to our advantage. We did escape alive, The local werewolf stayed with them. As I understand it, it's some sort of compulsion to stay and defend such an area. The officer in question may have been adversely affected. I'm not entirely certain. Sorry. Nor must it be said do I entirely care about some sort of werewolf. But it turns out that the particular area that they were defending is not a usual sort of area, and the very center of it is open to some sort of mage bullshit. Of which I am only vaguely familiar, as it did happen once upon Idun, which you were thankfully not present for at that point in time. You had other concerns, and Klaus and I took care of it for a given value of taken care of. But it is some sort of realm beyond the realm that mages deal with, as far as I am aware.
Question. While the speech is going on, which I'm processing, does a 16 on a perception check notice that somebody seems to be taking video of me?
Why do you need a perception check? It's very clearly.
I mean,
Sort of waking up.
There's
out
two
of the
cameras.
I mean,
There's a large camera
if
facing you directly overhead.
If Masterson is intentionally trying to be sneaky, then that's a contested role. If not, then fine. Yeah, Masterson, are you trying to be sneaky or coy about this?
Why would I be sneaky about this?
Okay.
Sungrazer has a camera on a mount and looks like he's ready to go to a movie set.
Oh, it's Sungrazer doing it?
Yeah,
We both
both
do.
of them.
Sungrazer.
Yeah,
That was both of
Petruchio,
them.
you do notice this.
Like,
Sure.
how you doing down there, guy?
Fine. I'm hacking into the camera.
With what?
Patrica's got a computer brain.
I have a computer in my head
Ah,
and a coprocessor.
Like Petruchio and Klaus both have
But it's a
computers in their
bot.
heads thing.
Because apparently we
excellent.
get botches when it's fun.
Oh no.
Only when it has to do with computers in your head.
Yeah, no,
Apparently.
we have managed to botch pretty much every role when it comes to hacking computers in person's heads.
you access back episodes of The Joy of Painting instead.
There are worse things to find.
You accidentally accessed Klaus's computer, and now you've got a contact high.
I'm distracted by local Twitter.
Phone back in pocket.
Local Twitter is probably still going off about that party.
Uh-huh.
It is lit. Every person who was there is being discussed, including, unfortunately, you and Masterson.
Right.
And the strange unnamed debutante who has captured the heart of a reporter. The reporter who wouldn't leave Puka alone.
I'll do it. How does a debutante face go?
I don't know.
So have we promised to help help deal with the what is the nature of this thing? Is this it's a wolf thing?
So as I understand it, without the werewolves in residence to keep it in check, it will expand to basically swallow the entire planet and possibly local space nearby. The sorts of places it has access to, it would be distinctly unhealthy for all the local population and of everybody, not just werewolves. The thing eats humans, it eats changelings, I guess. I don't think it particularly agreed with them, but it tried anyway.
So
And it would expand to basically cover the entire planet and, as I said, into the space nearby. However, the pack did note that perhaps with the coordination with the local mages whatever coterie, I guess. Some sort of council or however you say it. I don't know exactly what they've got, but whatever local mages are handy, if they can be persuaded to assist. The wound itself might be, I guess the best way to explain it would be scarred over so that it could not expand any further. The local section would probably still not be a particularly healthful place, but it would not be able to expand nor draw in prey as it tried to do to us.
Sungrazer coming down from the rig is going to say to Klaus, "What is a collective noun for mages anyway? Like, what do you call yourselves?"
Well, I've never actually been part of one, so I'm not entirely sure.
All right,
Is it a
cool.
gazebo?
Well, we should come up with one. A gazebo? Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
So-
not what's in the book, but I accept this game canon. They're somewhere somehow referred to as a gazebo.
A gazebo
No,
of
I
mages.
think we're just being idiots and calling them that.
It's
about
an
a
Eden
stable of
dialect
mages?
term.
Like fish.
So we need to find a gazebo of mages to help us.
A
close this
gazebo
thing.
of houseplants.
Yeah.
And specifically the sort of mages who deal in
Oh wait,
bullshit.
Okay.
Spirit woundy demon hellscape.
So chat
monster
just
thing.
gave me like half a dozen NPCs. I'll see what I can do. Including one left over from last game, Arcane the Sage, Professor Duck. He is coming up.
Right.
Okay, but
I hate to ask, but how does this help our mission? I mean, I understand that we are caught, as usual, between saving a whole bunch of people we don't like while they try to hunt us, or alternatively letting them die and having that horribleness sitting on our conscience.
There are cat
I-
noises happening.
there's a jelly cat somewhere in the room.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't suppose it's not just letting the humans die. It would affect local space adversely, and I don't know that this entire system would be any kind of habitable any longer. The gate might even close depending on how it runs, given that it's not exactly my area of expertise. But
It would
this
be a
entire system would be eaten, essentially, if we let it grow. If the humans hunted all the werewolves to extinction as they so long to do, the same thing would happen. The werewolves won't leave while the wound is open, so if we want the werewolves to leave, we have to close it. Personally, I am not exactly enamored with the idea of taking the werewolves out, given that they have buried themselves under the ground for decades at a time. And honestly, while they were reasonably cordial to us, I have no guarantees of their usual behavior once they are relieved of their burden of dealing with that sort of wound nonsense.
Right. I understand how you feel about werewolves. Yes, you were quite right that this is important enough that we should be dropping at least some of the mission in order to deal with that.
I mean, technically, this would fall under the purview of the mission, as it does free up a section of the local supernatural populace
Exactly.
to get the hell out of Dodge, as they say.
Klaus, you feel a slimy mass butt against your leg.
I am picking up the jelly cat.
It lets you pick it up, and then it kind of goes, and then what? And then out pops something that looks like an uncooked, like, soup dumpling, like a little ball of dough.
Yeah, jelly cat.
And then
What did you eat?
the little, and then the little ball of dough pops out a little kitten face.
I will pick
Hey,
up the
jelly
jelly kitten.
cat. What the fuck?
I will pick up the jelly kitten.
This is
Oh,
what I
aren't
don't
you a
like about
fine one? Yes, I'm sure you will be going to be a fine jellycat.
Question. Are people in fact entirely able to restrain their amusement that Petruchio is acting like he does not have a couple of things drawn in his face?
To be fair, Dune has kept a straight face this entire time.
I noticed.
The collective party just faced off against a wound. I think this is easy by comparison.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm not going to make
just been
people
grinning
make
like an
checks.
idiot the whole time, so, you know, read into that what you want.
So yes, Fadier bought NPC another cat, so I'm like, well, I guess it's time for an asexual joke. Because
Yeah.
I'm Ace, and it's my
I
game.
learned more about the reproductive cycle of jellycats today than I ever thought I would.
You assume that's what
Jellycat
happened,
decided
or it made
this was
it?
a very safe place to be, and therefore, if any time, the time to have another Jellycat.
Feeling
I'm
jealous.
glad
Or,
it felt
you
we
know,
needed another.
It's possible it's that, or that Jellycat ate a jelly kitten at some point and just didn't agree with them. Like, you don't know where he goes when you're not here.
I can be okay with the idea that Jellycat's a cannibal. It's a little fucked up.
Well, also, how else do you incorporate other Jellycats' makeup into your own, so that you can produce diverse offspring?
You know, the less we think about this, the better, probably.
Also, how do you
That's
get a
where I'm going with
VW bug-sized jellycat if not, you know? So I will pet the jelly kitten, and I will look Petruchio perfectly straight in the face without cracking it up.
Just another
So I
day at
guess-
Karve.
Hello, little one. Apparently, we have another pet. How many pets do we have again?
I've lost count, gonna be
Counting the
honest.
dragon, at least 4, I believe.
The Aquamarine dragon, what eats people. 2 jelly
The
cats.
floof.
The floof. Yes, some days are the. You notice the floof is rather ferret-like or kind of like a long rodent, and it was kind of like on the outskirts, and then it saw the jellycat do its thing, and it's just sort of like doing that like long, snaky, confused
Twimp.
rodent look. Floof. But yes, the pets are all here. Well, the Aquamarine dragon what eats people is in the hollow because he's a hedge beast. We think.
We hope.
All right.
Right.
How many more bots?
So-
How many more do I have? Okay.
So I suppose we need to find some mages.
Yeah, I suppose we do.
Someone sent a message to Maya at the ska bar.
Saying we needed the White Duke.
Was it Sungrazer or
Mm-mm.
Masterson? Well, whoever
I
it
think it
was.
was Masterson.
Okay.
Whoever they were using the not obfuscation, but like the hide the
Yeah.
sender.
Sungrazer
Contract?
used a cantrip to mask the call,
Yeah.
which is not literally in the book, but I'm like, I like this idea, so let's do it. I rewatched all of the last episode last night because my brain is not trustworthy. So yes, the Thin White Duke. So basically, I dare say it was, whoever it was gets a text back from Maya, just, he's here. Come when you can. So, you know where a mage is, aside, well, a local mage.
I suppose that we might as well start out as we mean to go on, and go to the bar.
I could use a purple drink. That'd be something I could.
Right, it's a coffee
could get
bar
down.
because they couldn't get their liquor license renewed because Supernat injustice.
I guess the purple
Very well.
drink would at that point be just, you know, caffeine in a purple Red Bull or whatever.
How unkempt am I at this point, having been unconscious for a while? Do I in fact need to change clothes or clean up?
Honestly, we are probably all pretty filthy because we've
Yeah.
been in the ancient section of the.
Masterson
shower.
took a shower, but his clothes are still pretty. Did they give you new clothes, or did you just put on your old clothes?
I probably put on my old clothes that were covered in blood and other random objects.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Masterson got a shower, but then put put his other clothes back on. So yeah, you're all kind of a mess because first you went through a wound, and there were fire rats and magic torrential rains and electrocutions and giant jelly cats monsters and a giant centipede thing and then werewolves and then yeah.
I'm not going to ask how my clothes got burnt, but I assume it's going to be in the report.
I think the werewolf, the other werewolf PC that got attacked by the fire ants was carrying Petruchio for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was carrying both Petruchio and Klaus at the time. So he had to draw the fire rats off the other two unconscious people, which is part of the reason why he got so badly smoked.
Yeah, so Petruchio, you are a bit singed, but yes, there is clothing on this ship.
I don't know about the rest of you, but before we go anywhere, I am going to take some time to clean up and maybe try not to get killed for a couple of hours.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, good call.
I will say that, Petruchio, you do have, filthy handprints on you now because Dune was grabbing you to do stuff.
On top of everything else.
Okay, so Petruchio will go into their cabin, come out half naked, stick their head into a jelly cat briefly, and go back in.
Dune will go and
because you saw the marker on your face?
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
That was to dissolve the marker on my face with the acid from the jelly cat.
Jelly cats have a poison attack, kind of like a cross between a jellyfish and a banana slug.
So, Dune will also go and wash off.
Sad, confused.
Okay. He may be taking advantage of the fact that these showers on the ship are pretty decent to do the horror gabble thing that dogs do sometimes with hoses, And also, you hear howling on the ship. It's kind of weird. It's not him. It's not Dune.
Do we know that, though?
You hear the howling, and it sounds like it's coming from very far away. But you're like... But the ship is, space-worthy, thus it should be soundproof. So, unless it's, like, in the hollow, which you guys upgraded to be, like, the size of a football stadium or something ridiculous like that, maybe it's in there?
Probably,
but, like, you just occasionally hear, like, howls that sound like they're very far away, but you're still in the spaceship. What is going on?
Wait, is a spaceship necessarily soundproof? I mean, normally you don't have something sitting up next to you.
It's potentially airtight. It doesn't have to be airtight when it's on the ground, but it's still, built for that. So
if you have something, I mean, the shock absorbers make it largely soundproof in any case.
No, it is not a mating call, Fadia.
I will clean up, and I'll be composing a requisition supply request for the army base.
So, Masterson, now that you are above ground and away from the abyss and all that shit, an email comes through to your phone that looks like it was sent earlier this evening. And now it's like 4 a.m., but you're like, okay. And it's basically a request for you to come in and talk to one of the regional governors. An appointment for like 8 a.m. the next morning. Because, they didn't know you spent hours and hours in a wound. At least you can tell, it hasn't been more than 1 day, so... Yeah, okay, fine. So that, they request that you come in for the meeting at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, but they do give you the option of rescheduling if this is not convenient for you.
I have no idea how long this conversation with Thin White Duke is going to take. And this is not going to be a party I would like to take a wolf blood, another changeling, a mage, and a vampire to. I suspect that will turn out what I like to call the business poorly.
You do notice that okay, the one NPC I couldn't find in my notes. What was the name of the NPC that you've been talking to in the local government, or was it local military?
I have a local government contact. Give me 5 minutes and I can find that for you.
Okay, but please find that for me for when this scene happens, but also that person has been CC'd, or this person is also part of this email conversation, so you effectively have both been invited. So this isn't completely out of the blue. It seems that your government contact is something to do with this.
Oh, I don't have her name written down. It's Ally to Planetary Admin. I did not write her name down.
Neither did I. Okay. Well...
Gladys.
I don't think I did either.
Gladys? Alright. Let's go with Gladys. Let's just go with Gladys. Okay. So yeah, you all get cleaned up and play with the new baby Jellycat. And
Yeah. Dune's basically just gonna, take it back to his cabin and fall asleep with it on his chest.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, so who's
Sungrazer will just have a floof.
your mage contact is in the barn now, so who's going to go talk to them?
In that case, I will leave the Jellycat with its Jellycat.
The Jellycat
And
and the
I will-
kitten
I will-
don't
I
seem
will
like
go
each
to
other very
the-
much. They're
Huh?
not like fighting, but the Jellycat and the Jellykitten don't seem to like each other very much.
I'll put the Jellycat in my pocket and I will take it with me to Ska because I know basically what's supposed to be happening and
Okay.
I will
Wait,
let
did we
the
have
others.
a dog too?
Yes, actually I do. I have a
Yes! Pomeranian!
Tom
the little
dog in the other
cute color.
with a little
Pomeranian.
diamond necklace who would not leave me alone.
So you
after
have a small dog in one pocket and a small cat in the other.
Yep.
Okay.
I will let the others know that I'm going to the bar to talk to the White Duke if anyone wants to come with me.
I'll come
but
along.
I'm not going to force them to go because it is, 4:00 in the morning. And the only
Okay.
reason I'm still up is because I had, a
So,
shot,
it's
of
early
espresso and a
afternoon.
slug of moonshine.
What is sleep even? I mean, sleep. Who needs it?
I have a meeting with the Planetary Administrator in 4 hours, so I would like to say I can go with you, but I don't think I can get to both meetings. And I'm pretty sure that I can't take the rest of you to the other meeting. They might notice.
I could take the rest of us to the other meeting.
If we're still alive by then, perhaps. But, all right. So it's me and Puka and
Petruchio, I think.
I was
Petruchio and Klaus.
going
Okay.
to.
So we're gonna basically just gonna leave Masterson alone on the ship to sleep it off, basically.
Okay.
I've had a nap, all right.
I tried to
Also-
take a nap, immediately decided, nope, not sleeping right now.
Also, the Duke is kind of a nickname. You do remember that the Hierophant's name is, or this person's name is David. Did I tell him it was Hierophant? I don't remember. This mage dude's name is David. So, okay. So
If I had ever known that, I had forgotten it.
I wrote it down like 800 years ago. Pomeranian.
I mean, it's the
Okay.
Thin White Duke. Of course, it's David.
Yeah. This is a lesser known David Bowie persona. Anyway.
There you
And
go.
I'm just like, I'll use this. I'm not that original. I just remix other shit.
But yes.
okay, So yeah.
In trenchcoat space and trenchcoat pockets, I have at least 2 live animals that I have been feeding.
Yeah.
Looking at the relationship between the Jellykit and the Jellycat, does it seem like they'll eventually get used to each other, or that one of
Yeah.
them needs to be rehomed?
They're not outright hostile, but they're not cuddling either, which would be weird if so Jellycats, I guess, don't really raise their young, they just produce it and move on. The kitten also seems a lot more self-reliant than a regular earth kitten would be. Like,
Right.
it can see, it can smell, it's very responsive. So it's like basically like a 6 to 8 week old kitten already. So they're,
Is it in fact-
like gazelles, or like any animal that's sort of just born able to survive already and just, will do.
Is it
Everything you
energetic
keep
the way a kitten
saying-
would be?
What?
Everything you keep saying convinces me further that Jellycat tried to eat another Jellycat, and this is not, in fact, its child.
It could go either. Like, you could research it later, but it could go either way.
Does the personality of the Jelly Kitten seem similar to the personality of Jellycat? Do they seem to be different personalities?
Baby Jellycat seems a bit sweeter, a bit more affectionate to, you know, humanoids. Whereas Jellycat is kind of tough love affectionate. Like when, you know, certain members were knocked out by an abyssal creature that projected illusions into their minds, and I think it bit Masterson to try and wake him up, and then, like, lick, and then bite again, because, like, I'm biting you because I love you. So, Baby is less sadistic than adult.
Yep. Baby
The real
is less
question
like
is,
a wombat.
Jellycat Senior is fond of Dune. Is Jellycat Senior mad at Jelly Kitten for co-opting Dune's attention?
Jellycat isn't really that needy, so it doesn't seem to bug them yet.
Fair.
Jellycat is mystery. Mystery of space is Jellycat. Anyway, on to the bar.
Yep. So we're relatively cleaned up, like, you know.
Yeah, you know. I mean, you're in the shittiest part of the planet anyway, so, you know. And yeah, the ska bar is still open. With it's supposed to be Scylla, but some of the letters have blocked out because space Argonauts. The part of the neon letters are just out because it's cheap and, you know.
Yep.
So
and
now
yeah,
it's
the
just
bar
law.
is the bar is actually not. It's actually a bit more. There are a few more people here and there because it is a coffee bar, and by this point it's probably like 5 a.m. and people are just getting off the night shift or getting ready for a very early morning shift, and they need caffeinated substances.
Such as myself and possibly Klaus.
Yeah.
Maybe like coffee cup. Do you want a coffee?
Maya already has a glass of purple for Sungrazer. Cause, you know, she doesn't have that many customers left, but, you know, she's gonna keep.
Yeah. Dune will just take a mug of coffee black because he does need it at this point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's got like a huge carafe.
Carafe.
It could be a carapace.
Carapace. No, fuck it. It's a changeling bar. It is a It looks like a giant carafe, but it is actually some kind of husk of a giant beetle that has been turned into a giant pot of coffee. An industrial-sized pot of coffee. Yeah. Anyway, again, you see this mage called David, or other things. Middle-aged, definitely looks like starting to push out of middle age. His micro-expressions indicate that he is male-presenting, but he is still wearing the same, like, soft white and gray vintage skirt suit. Whether he just likes vintage fashions, or these are the only nice clothes he's owned ever, is unclear, but he takes good care of his outfits. Nice clothes need to be taken care of. And he's just sitting there, you know, drinking a cup of coffee, kind of wincing at it, but continuing to drink it. This is very rough coffee. This is very rough 5 a.m. in the morning coffee. Like, she's set up to, like, make lattes and fancier things, but right now everyone just sort of wants, you know, the most caffeinated, roughest stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff
it may
that
be
helps
rough
them
5 a.m.
survive.
coffee, but it's great 5 a.m. purple stuff.
Yeah.
Put in a vote for the purple stuff.
Woohoo.
I'll go over and take a seat at the table with the Duke.
Oh, cheers. Good morning.
I have my doubts about the particular goodness of this morning, but
Your suspicions are probably justified. What can I do for you all?
So, Dune will, in fact, try and lower his voice for this one.
He's like, oh, is this everyone?
Everyone who's coming.
He takes these, like, you know those kind of worry balls that you kind of do the thing with, and they make the chimey sound?
Right.
He takes 2 of those out and starts kind of rolling them about, and I'd say you get a sense that no one else is paying as much attention to you here. Klaus, magic. It's definitely magic. The rest of you are like,
Shocking.
magic probably happened. So...
Something curious is afoot.
Yeah.
There's a wound in the world.
So I don't know how much you know about the particular in doings of werewolves. I would be enormously surprised if you knew a great deal, honestly.
We
But
don't mix that well on Logoi. We don't mix that well on Logoi, given how much we all try to stay secret. That often means secret from each other, unfortunately.
well, this particular pack has found themselves a wound in the gauntlet to the spirit side of things would be the best way I could have to describe it. It's a hole in the world to the side of the spirits, and as such, it attracts many things which are not healthy for man or beast, shall we say. The particular pack we encountered today, or rather earlier yesterday, patrol this area and keep it from expanding to swallow it up. However, unlike more usual areas, they cannot close it themselves because at the very center, there is something deeper than a hole in the world. I experienced its like only once on Idun, when something went horribly awry, and something, I suppose the description I was told is abyssal, managed to make its way through into the world. We managed to capture and defeat it, or possibly send it back. I am not entirely clear. The entire episode is something of a blur, but there is something very similar at the center of the wound.
Is it, Maeljin, I'm sorry.
At least one, possibly as many as 4, as far as I'm aware.
I should hope they're not. There's
One?
usually only one at a time.
Well, one is the Lord, and the others are its lieutenants. Near to it, but not it, as it were.
Maeljins are, well, it sounds like, so you've dealt with, smaller abyssal spirits. They're basically, if the abyss is another dimension like the hedge or the spirit of, or the Hissil, the abyss has its own versions of spirits, and yes, they can be dispatched much like a spirit can in the mundane world, but it basically does what a spirit does and go back to the abyss to hibernate until it collects enough, in this case paradox usually, to come back into our world. A Maeljin is rather a step above that. There are some magi who deal in angels. That would be the evil abyssal equivalent of an archangel. They are quite powerful and awful, and their very presence exudes evil, or at least the darkest sides of ourselves, and feeds upon them while invoking others to fall to their basest selves.
That does rather sound like the goings on in that particular wound, and I.
And this is in the Undercity? Like, where is it?
So a great many years ago, 2000, I believe.
1,000.
1,000.
1,000.
Pardon me.
It's okay.
Approximately.
I think I said it wrong the first time. It was 1,000.
Sorry, I've got. approximately 1,000 years ago, there was an outbreak of red plague on the planet, and the planetary governors decided that the best way to deal with it was to seal the plague district in and let the place eat itself. So, in the depths of the city, beneath this section really, although I believe it touches many others, for it is a surprisingly large swath of the older city, there is the remains of a plague district that's dropping in and out of the Hisil at random, apparently.
How many victims were there? Is this the hundreds?
I'm thinking in the thousands, although I believe I nod to Petruchio and Klaus, our experts in computers got a better view through the old technology before it ate itself.
Do I have a sense of how many people were in the plague district before it?
Definitely in the thousands, not the hundreds, but
Thousands.
Oof. Well, that's certainly enough trauma. Thousands of people succumbing to red plague is certainly enough trauma to possibly open a wound and attract or engender Maeljin. It's unclear how they actually happen. So this is under Ponos. So these are the crows, the pack in that territory. I know that they exist. I just was never able to make contact directly with them because they are rather secretive, and if this is what they're protecting, I think I can quite understand why.
I mean, I don't know how much of it is secrecy and how much of it is the wound itself interfering with their communications. The first message we sent them went awry, and it was only through sheer happenstance and luck that we managed to make contact with them at all. They did pull us out. I don't know that I got the pact designation.
Well, now's your chance.
Did
we ever figure out who sent us the message that drew us in the first place?
Yes, the wound itself, or at least one of the aspects of it, sent us this message. I will actually pull out the paper message that got us in trouble in the first place and push it over towards the Duke.
Yeah, he kind of, he doesn't pick it up, but he looks at it. And he kind of waves his hand over it. And it just glows this, like, sickening shade of red. Or actually, no, because he,
I wouldn't see it.
Yeah, he does this, and Klaus, you can see it's glowing a sickening shade of red.
You did that under the camera.
He goes like this over it with his
hand. There you
go.
So. Sorry.
Well, it's evil. So,
we tried to contact them.
Actually, no, it's Klaus, you see, there's like a sickening red, but with like veins of like a black purpley thing, almost like, Diablerie veins.
I was gonna say.
But, you know, not neon
more
green
weird
like
colored
when you ate
Diablerie veins?
Anyway, other game. So, well, it's definitely, this was touched by something very evil. You should probably not keep this on your person. And he is not touching it. He's just like...
That's fair. The sigil itself,
Yes, it's, well, it's similar to, a symbol I know that means welcome, but I assume this is more, spirit speech or werewolf speech.
Wait, so do you think that was produced by an intelligent enemy? Or was it more like the pseudopods that a carnivorous houseplant will put out to attract prey?
I mean, if this is a wound full of tainted spirits, I mean, they can be quite intelligent and quite cunning, and if they've had 1,000 years of practice, I mean, it's not uncommon for haunted, desolate places to find ways to attract prey. I mean, yes, in a biological sense, that happens in the natural world all the time. But the spirit world is an ecosystem unto itself, and thus often seems to function under some of the same logic.
Um,
And these creatures, when they can't, they're more than happy to fight and consume each other to gain power. But when they can get fresh meat, I'm sure they'll take advantage.
Dune will pull out a lighter and go,
There was talk amongst mages that there was something dark under Ponos, but those who went looking for it, but the understanding was that there's a group of werewolves downstairs and they have it handled, or else they will take out anyone who goes to investigate. But now I assume if anyone went down to investigate a wound, they would not have survived to return.
Indeed, the pack did indicate that we were not the first, not even not even among the first to have been taken by the wound, as it were. We were just the ones lucky enough to survive it, thanks to some handy charms that I no longer possess. I only had a few that worked, so they have been used up, unfortunately.
So the crows...
Dune will hold up a lighter and it's just like, would and then the note just like,
yeah,
is it okay? Like make it like, is it okay to burn it, or do you?
So Dune, everyone else is kind of like, yeah, it's burning paint. There's an ashtray. Not everyone in the future vapes. There's an ashtray. Dune, when you burn it, it's like when you burn incense and it releases the oils that weren't exposed to the air before. You smell that kind of evil abyssal taint that you smelled downstairs in the abyss, or near the wound. Yeah. So it actually does smell like the wound once you burn it, and you're ugh.
Yeah, ugh. Dune will actually growl in like a wolf, because that smell also evokes thoughts of goose. He doesn't like that.
It does a little bit smell like the goose too, yes.
I have a question about smoking inside in the future. So is this that people don't care as much anymore? Or is that people have developed things you can smoke that won't kill you over time?
At least depending on the district, depending on the community and the establishment, a little bit of both. In Ponos, no one gives a shit.
Because not like the air restrictors are super great down here anyway.
Yeah. So if this were like a coffee shop in like a middle class or upscale neighborhood, someone would probably ask you to smoke outside. But there are also probably like there's Klaus has a friend named Jasper who runs a hookah bar in Eden City. Like, those are still a thing.
Oh, and presumably they can have atmospheric filters.
Yeah.
That will,
Every establishment has its own shit going on, and in Ska Bar, no one really gives a shit. We're just glad to still be open and haven't, not hate crimed to death yet. So.
Yep.
Huh, so there's a wound under that, so...
The unfortunate part is that due to the growing resentment of the supernatural community, fewer and fewer werewolves have made their way down to join the pack in recent years.
And all the werewolves not down there have gone to Dysnomia, as far as I can tell.
I will say they're not losing ground yet, but...
No, but
it is getting harder to hold the ground.
Yes.
So the short answer is that unless this is dealt with permanently, eventually there won't be enough werewolves to keep track of it, and it will spiral out and destroy the planets and possibly the system.
Yes, or worse, if the humans get wind of it and either try to take care of it themselves or try to turn it into some sort of weapon, it will exacerbate things.
I personally would not like to see a planet-sized gate to the Hysil, or for that matter, whatever the hell the Abyss is.
Yes, it would more likely become a planet-sized gateway into the Abyss. My path have unfortunately, more dealings with the Abyss than others, but, yes, to close a wound. I mean, the stories I understand is that if, in some cases, if the Maeljin can be destroyed, and then the mundane world around it rehabilitated, the wound sort of closes on its own, but that's not going to happen here, because this is Undercity, remote. It might as well be on a space station.
Honestly, if it were on a space station, it might be easier to deal with.
We could just
because at that point, rehabilitation is merely hitting it with an asteroid hard enough until there's not big chunks big enough for it to come back to.
Or shove it into a sun.
But it would be an excellent hiding place if it weren't, a complete death trap.
Indeed. That's... yes. Well, to brute force close a wound, one would need to be a master, well, especially if it's involved with the Hysil, one would need to be a master of both spirit magic and space magic. I am a master of space, but not of spirit. And he kind of takes out his phone and he starts scrolling through. And he kind of stops scrolling. And he gets this just the trace of a face, when someone's like, I'm having a migraine just thinking about this. And then he kind of closes he turns off his phone and puts it face down on the table. There is one mage I know of who is a master of both spirit and space. She is a Thrysis. She currently resides on Dysnomia.
Dune keeps a better straight face than I do, by the way.
Yeah, she goes by Megara. And, she does not communicate through technology. And, one cannot send a spirit across the gauntlet, across the void of space, even just from here to Dysnomia. So, if you want to enlist her into your cause, I think she would be willing, just accept that she is how she is. She is very knowledgeable on these magics, and in matters of the spirit world, and, healing. She's a bit of a pill. And yes, she does not communicate electronically, and one could send a spirit to get her attention very easily, but that wouldn't cross from here to Dysnomia across space, so you would have to go and speak to her directly.
Couldn't we just contact someone to
Yeah, I was gonna say, doesn't Petruchio have a contact on Dysnomia?
Yes.
One of you who hasn't died?
She would, I think she would insist on meeting you in person. I mean, unless this person you know is also a magic user and knows of the spirit world.
I mean, unless I much mistake myself, I believe that the person in question is,
I mean, ultimately,
I think, actually.
I only have so much sway over the mages in this system. If you wanted to encourage them to either help you or leave, seeing them in person, in general, going to Dysnomia, making a day trip out to Dysnomia might be in the best interest of your organization. And as far as I can tell, all of the mages in Limos System are now on Dysnomia, unless they are hiding from me, which I've looked all I can. I have not been able to locate any more. I seem to be the last relatively open mage on the planet, and I don't wish to reside here much longer. But as long as there's a wound here, I will stay until this matter is resolved.
To be fair, we have heard rumors of some sort of prison, perhaps, or research facility that is designed to hold supernaturals. Although looking for it is part of what got us caught by the wound in the first place, as it is a very large area underneath the city without any sort of power or other. It was, as they say, a blank spot. The welcome letter simply, we thought it was from the local pack, and so we went to meet them. Also, we thought.
Well, I hadn't even heard of this. I mean, I've lived in this system all my life. I'd never heard of this Red Plague disaster, but it sounds like the government completely covered it up.
What was the phrase? Buried alive, I think it was.
Yeah. But do you say it in spirit speak? I think that's what it was written in.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was written in that Meiji werewolf language.
Yeah, I will do my best. Dune is still not one of the spirity types, really.
So there were supernaturals trapped down there as well. Then no wonder it went all to hell.
I will say that when Dune says that, there's like the distant howl of wolves, like the punctuation of Frau Blücher.
Well, you've got that tattoo on your face that's like some kind of wolfy symbol, or
it's so the moon's a wolfy symbol. The stuff over it, the broken star in this case, is something that Dune added afterwards. It's not wolfy. It is distinctly not wolfy, and it definitely breaks whatever the symbol would be on his face.
Yeah, but you're talking to Mastigo. He kind of noticed it for a while and is like, just sort of. He doesn't actively shrug, but you get a sense of someone who doesn't emote has shrugged. Inside shrugging. So he does not seem he seems nonplussed by magic weirdness.
Right? Yeah. No. Honestly, I was just going for the gag of whenever Dune says this, wolves howl in the distance.
Klaus?
Maybe they're howling because his accent is so horrible. You never know.
Klaus, a certain voice in your head is saying, I kind of want to see what Dysnomia is like. Like, I want to see if it's as much a shithole as they say it is. Like, could be fun.
Would it be reasonable to have my contact perhaps drop in a letter rather than dropping in unannounced?
Well, that's the thing about Megara. It is not possible to drop in on her It is not possible to take her by surprise. At least not for a social call.
But would it be more courteous to send a letter anyway?
I mean...
That's what I was saying.
Yes, but she would want to meet you, and she would want to hear about this.
Oh, I was intending to meet in person. It was merely I thought it might be more courteous to drop a letter beforehand.
Certainly more courteous, but not actually strictly necessary. But I do what you will. But you do.
I will start drafting a letter to send on to one of my local contacts.
Yeah, you have
drop in a specific location.
One of your contacts is supposed to be on this sheet. Where is he? Tobias.
Yep.
He's a Carthian maquette. And also computery person.
Tobias, can you print out this letter on paper or vellum if you have it? And please drop it in this location.
You don't actually know the location.
Sorry, and drop it in a location that you will get in advance. About where? Can you give me information about where I should go and where the letter should be dropped off?
So on Dysnomia, there were a number of habitation domes. But with the sheer influx number of new residents, I think the population has at least doubled. They've been slowly building new domes, but they're mostly located in a kind of shanty town in a rather gigantic warehouse dome that was not actually meant for habitation, but they made it work. So, somehow most of the vampires seem to have claimed most of the newly built habitation domes. Again, you get that shrug sense, which is no judgment, it's just their way. So yes, I dare say most of the mages and everyone else are still in that giant dome in the shantytown. So I'm sure if your contact knows of any mages on Dysnomia, he can eventually find this letter will find its way to her.
Right. Sure, I will give Tobias enough, you want to contact Megara, she's a mage. If you talk around, you can probably get it going in the right direction. At least it'll save some time on our end. I will pay you.
And Tobias gets back to you pretty quickly. Okay, boss! And you get a little bunny rabbit with a thumbs up. As an emoji. Yes, so, alright, I can start getting in contact with the mages I know, who might also be able to help. I'll see what I can do. I don't know if I'd be able to motivate them back onto Logoi, but we'll see.
Indeed,
But I am for you and for helping the crows with this situation.
Once we get it entirely taken, well, I wouldn't say entirely taken care of. I would say that once we get it into a state where it's not going to eat the planet, I would be willing to say that washing our hands of the situation might be for the best. And
have you made any headway in convincing anyone left on this planet to just leave the system? Because I'm not convinced that our people are safe on Dysnomia.
Well, the changelings seem to be amenable to getting the hell out of Dodge as long as they have their own little section of the hollow inside our ship. I don't know that it'd be particularly safe, but we'll burn that bridge when we come to it, I suppose. As for the rest, I don't think that living in the slums of Dysnomia is a particularly happy situation. So, as I recall,
I can't say I'm looking forward to it.
I believe that Tobias and possibly some other factors on Dysnomia are spreading the word that we will be there with our hollow ship to take anyone who wants to go out. At least that was the last thing I'd heard, to my reckoning.
Are we telling our contacts that we have a hollow ship, or simply that we have a way to get people out?
I believe we have a way to get people out.
So what the Church of the Weird here told you, because this was a long time ago now, out of character. They have something that they need moved. They would need your hollow to move it, but they can't tell you what it is unless you're willing to join their oath circle about it.
Right. But
which would make it easier to get it onto your ship, certainly. And then once they get it onto your ship, they could probably figure out how to hide it from everyone else.
So joining their oath circle about it just means that you won't tell anyone about it, or does it mean something else?
You're an Invictus, so I'll just say it. So Invictus actually have their own version of this, which most vampires do not, but also, so, game recognizes game. Changelings have oath circles, which is where you make an oath, a promise, or something, and if you fuck it up, depending on the severity, sometimes if you fuck up by accident, sometimes you have to fuck it up on purpose, or it depends on the severity. It's a magically binding contract.
Yep.
And you have, as an Invictus, you have heard of changelings entering into these with non-changelings, and the magic still binds.
Sure, just like
Right.
some
But I
Invictus
think
of-
what you're asking was,
Vampire
is
System.
that binding just not to talk about it, or is that binding to defend it with our lives, protect it to the end of days, this, that, and the other?
I don't
It
know.
probably won't tell you until you join.
I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't get into that in detail, but then none of you wanted to join yet, so they're like, you know, if one of you wants to join, we can tell you more, and then we'll do the thing.
Yeah, no.
Kind of like certain organizations whose names we legally probably should not mention on this channel. So.
Oh.
But yeah, no, if it was just keeping a secrecy, I mean, whatever, but like we all got the feeling that it's not just keeping it secret. And we already have enough stuff to do already, you know?
Like, yeah, they're kind of, you got a sense that if one of you at least went in with the Oath Circle, it would at least make it easier to deal with for you guys.
Yep.
You did not get a sense of any kind of sneaky, underhanded bullshit from them. At least as far as they're concerned, it's a very important special thing, and it needs to be protected. For some reason. But also, I think your Von True Invictus wasn't there for that episode.
Yep, I'm much more willing to take random oaths, it turns out.
Or at least the Invictus in the party would make a more informed decision based on previous experience of magical contract bullshit. So, we can get to that today if you want, because, all right. So the alarm for our 10-minute break just went off. Chat, this is where we take a 10-minute break. So when we reconvene, so I'll say like, is there anything else anyone wants to say or impart to the Thin White Duke, the Thin White Mage? No, then he, you know, the thing, he pulls out the jingly balls again, and you sense that you know, bubble dissolves a bit.
I'd like to tell him that I really liked his early work. So.
Thank you.
I will. Did we get just one of the communicators from the crows, or did we get like a couple?
I think you got a couple.
Then I'm gonna slide him one of the communicators.
Okay.
This will put you in direct line communication with the crows themselves. It'll only work for about a month, and then I believe, I mean, if we haven't fixed it by then, we're probably fucked anyway. But at that point, the magic of the area will have eaten away through it again.
So they also need mundane equipment.
I mean, they're in an area that hasn't been improved nor touched by human hand for several generations. So,
and the wound is actively degrading it too, right?
Yes,
So
the presence of the abyss would do that to magic. It actively eats magic and the mundane.
It was pretty gross.
It would be. Alright, if our business is concluded, I have some people to call.
Indeed. Your assistance is much appreciated.
And break time.
As is yours. Thank you.
As is your outfit.
Thank you.
I must confess, almost everybody on this planet has been very nice, except, of course, for the humans and the vampires.
Well, you were unconscious through a lot of the jerks we met, so.
Well, I mean, these are the people that are left, and they're kind of willing to be nice to anyone who will be their ally right now, because an apocalypse.
They don't have too many of those.
Yeah. The shrinking population of houseplants. Alright, so now it is time for our 10-minute break. When we come back, it is time for Masterson's meeting.
Yep.
And then after that, the party will reconvene for party nonsense, planning, etc.
Probably more Jellycat shenanigans.
Yeah, baby Jellycat, the dog is kind of like just chilling. The baby Jellycat is really interested in that coffee. And it's just like doing the cat thing where it like leans in like Like, it's doing the thing, I'm moving so slow you can't see me moving, but the cats actually can do that to some extent, and...
You keep that globular little shit away from my glass of purple.
Now you
Coffee
can't
is
blame a
not for
cat
the
for being a
jelly
cat.
cat.
And you're like doing this kind of thing where you're trying to take a sip out of your cup, but your cat is in your
I'm gonna just start feeding the jelly cat sugar packets. I'm not opening the sugar packets. I'm just feeding the whole sugar packet.
Hi, Vampiric Yoda. He's rating us with party of 1, and we're about to go on our 10-minute break.
It happens.
But in 10 minutes, we'll reconvene for NWoD and space shenanigans. So, it's 10 minutes, you know, get a drink, make some ramen. Try not to Diablerize anyone. And we'll be back in a few. Bye!
Alrighty.
Hello, chat! We are back from break! Huzzah! I think one of us has ramen.
Nope. Rice and Chinese food.
Ah, okay. I couldn't see. I just saw chopsticks from this angle.
Despite the fact that I technically can eat ramen now.
Oh yeah, because after sundown. Yay! Okay, so chat, if you just joined us, probably not. This is Exit to Eden and NWoD in space. Our characters are part of an underground railroad. We're in a far-flung future space opera blah-de-blah world where the Supernats are out and humanity now hates them, even though Supernats in NWoD protect humanity from all kinds of bullshit, including in this case a wound between the mundane world, the spirit world, and the abyss under their city. And our team is part of an underground railroad that typically gets Supernats and other unprivileged, persecuted people out of mean systems and into nice ones. But this is proving a bit more difficult since they basically have to save the entire Supernat population of the system and now possibly save humanity from the wound. As much as they would like to watch this planet burn, unfortunately leaving a wound open would not be that simple.
I mean, to be fair, leaving it open would be that simple. The consequences would not be simple.
Okay. Yes, humans don't know how good they have it. Because, well, humans tend towards self-destruction and persecution of what's different, and in 6,000 years, that has unfortunately not changed enough. Anyway. Yes, Masterson. You had an 8 a.m. appointment with a government official. And your civil servant friend Gladys. What position did I say? I couldn't find this NPC in my notes. I'm sorry, chat. I'm useless. What is her position,
She's if I remember correctly, she's an administrator who handles some sort of tertiary level control over a lot of different things. She's not like the main planetary administrator, but she's somewhere in that particular command structure and seemed to not be a goofbat.
Okay. So she has been, not CC'd because then you couldn't see it, but she's on, it's basically an email summons for both of you. To a more senior administrator's office. We'll call him
Excellent.
Elra.
I will be there earlier.
That sounds spacey. Mr. Elra. There we go. Elvish spacey, maybe. Okay. I know what I'm doing. I'm the GM.
You are the GM. You know exactly what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. How
you
early
should
do
get
you...
a hat with that written.
It's in the same building where you met Gladys, but on a higher floor with nicer offices.
Well, I would have gotten there at like 7.
Okay.
We were probably not back by the time you left.
So yeah, At 7:30, Gladys comes into that kind of... There's sort of a waiting area, and there's a secretary sitting at a desk. And it's like, can I help you?
I have an appointment at 8 with Mr. Elra.
Oh. Yes, What is Masterson's rank again?
Captain.
Captain Masterson. Oh yes, Captain Masterson. Yes, if you're a bit early, if you'll just have a seat, and there's some coffee on the sidebar, if you'd like, and donuts.
I will sit and wait quietly.
At 7:30, Gladys comes in and kind of waves at the secretary. The secretary's like, oh, nods. Yes, you're supposed to be here. Oh, hello. Hello, Captain.
Good morning.
And she takes coffee and a donut and a napkin to go over her pantsuit, because, you know, crumbs. And she just sort of eats. See, she sits, you know, like one chair away from you, kind of with you, but not, and she's just sort of eating quietly, because you assume she hasn't had breakfast yet. She's eating like someone for whom breakfast happens at the office. They're pretty good donuts, though.
That's good. Excuse me.
And if you are not broaching any topic of conversation, she's just gonna sit there quietly with you and like check her phone and go over her appointments, drink her coffee.
Oh, I will be very, very respectful and quiet and not be a troublemaker for a change of pace.
Well, not yet.
Yeah, that's like later.
Yeah, right now you have to drive under the speed limit because you have a body in the car. Maybe metaphorically, we don't know.
Bodies in the hollow.
Body in the hollow.
There's a lot of bodies in the hollow.
And a lot of fruit, so.
Yeah, I topped up on goblin fruit while I was in the hollow because I was a little low on glamour.
Yeah, so at 8 a.m. on the dot, actually at 8:45, Mr. Elra comes in, nods to you both, and goes to his office. So you're seeing him first thing in the morning. And yeah, at 8 a.m. sharp, the secretary says, "Oh, Mr. Elra is ready to see you now. Go right in."
Excellent.
Yeah, and he's it's a very kind of even in the future, civil servants' offices are kind of boring. So it's this sort of just this is a very kind of classic looking like wood paneling, beige carpet kind of office. It has a really nice view of this section of the city though. It's a corner office. But the inside of the office, like there's some, you know, insignia, there's the Limos System flag is up, a few of the local flags, and it's just kind of boring. This is a person who either does not have taste or does not bring it to work. And he is just wearing a very boring gray suit. A little bit on the cheap side.
Oh.
He himself does not seem to be military.
Does he in fact appear to be a changeling?
Nope.
Just checking. I mean, I have 5 ranks of dull beacon, so I don't show up as one. Unless you're like real close.
Yep. Oh wait, but you do have ridiculous mantle, so he does
It is warm in here.
yeah. You come in and he's like, and oh, Malk Maven subscribed. Thank you. Thanks, bro. Yay! Maybe someday I should make things for subscribers. One day will be a real channel. Today might not be that day. But thank you for the sub. Yay!
Little magic fish bowls.
Little fishies.
Exactly.
Yeah, so when you come in, he kind of looks for a minute and reaches over and adjusts the thermostat controls from his desk, and he's like, "Ah, so Captain Masterson, I've heard a lot about you. You've gotten into some interesting situations since you've been here. Hasn't he, Gladys?"
It's an interesting planet.
Yes, sir. Yes, he has. But he's dealt with them very effectively. It's like, yes, he has. So, Captain Masterson, while you're here, what is, can you explain to me, from your own words, the purpose of your visit to our fair little corner of the galaxy?
Oh, they didn't tell you? In order for any world to be considered for imperial citizenry, in order to join the Empire, you have to meet basic minimum standards for performance in your civic government, your military, your law enforcement, all of these things. The Inspector General's office is keenly responsible for assessing these and deciding whether or not you get to become a member world of the Imperium. I'm an advanced scout. And I would like to congratulate you for parking me in the shittiest neighborhood you have on this planet.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. We're working on it. It's unfortunately our listening post detected some supernatural presences on your ship when you came in. I don't know if you were aware.
Yes, as I recall, that was burned off when we came into the atmosphere. We picked up something coming through the jump gate.
Oh yes. Well, there's that kind of space trash, but they detected something inside the cockpit. Did this entity make itself inside of your ship?
I do not recall it getting inside, but I was incapacitated for a moment by its activities, so it's very possible that something of it got inside.
All right. Well then, I'll see what we can do about moving you somewhere a bit more respectable.
I do appreciate being respectable.
So you are a... So you're here to take stock of how we're doing, how we're implementing core policies, etc.
Yes.
Now, I know you're here to be an impartial judge on whether or not we should be able to join the core planets.
Yes.
I was hoping to ask a favor of you due to your impartiality. That is a little under the table, shall we say. But I don't really have anyone under my own command who is impartial enough.
What is this particular favor you would like to ask me to do before I decide to, I don't know, do anything rash?
Well, I was wondering if part of your process of evaluating our system included going to Dysnomia.
It's on my list of things to do. I need to check out the shipyard and see if they're meeting compliance for safety standards and general manufacturing processes.
All right. I was wondering if, as a favor, you could give me a copy of that part of your impartial report. I know it is not standard procedure. But if you haven't heard, there are two megacorps with great interest in our system, and Paragon. and each is definitely trying to manipulate the numbers to their own ends. Not necessarily against us joining the core, but it makes it difficult to get an unbiased opinion on what's going on. So.
I believe I could make a copy of that report available to you, yes.
Thank you. Very, very much obliged, and we'll see if we can get your ship put somewhere much safer and nicer in our fair city. I did get a copy of the Spectre ship. It's a very nice ship. A bit.
Yes.
It has a bit of mileage on it, but a good, sturdy ship.
It does get around.
So, is there anything else you would like to ask me about or for while you're here? While we're getting to talk face to face?
Is there anything that you would like to tell me about that would not go on an official report? Anything that you wouldn't leave a paper trail for? Like this rash of violence towards suspected supernatural creatures and their sympathizers, or any other odd patterns of behavior involving police responses and the like. Anything that you would put on an official piece of paper that would come back to you when, say, inspectors came looking?
Oh, so now I get the numbers from our local police forces about the number of hate crimes, and as far as they've told me, those numbers are quite low. Do you suspect that they are fudging the numbers somewhat? Is this...
I ran into one of your police captains. I do not believe he is reporting everything that he sees.
Oh, would you mind telling me which one so I can start looking into that? Because definitely we want everyone on the same page if we are to join the core planets.
It's the captain from the, I don't remember the captain's name, but it's the one I ran into at the giant party where we liberated some things.
Captain TBA. It took like 5 episodes. Well, it's the end, so. Huh, and he writes down the TBA name. Chris has more notes to comb through. And we have another NPC. Ben Swallow. Okay. All right, I'll look into that.
From my own investigations, your organized criminal activity is somewhat light. There's only one organized crime group that I've seen so far operating on the planet, and they seem to be doing low-level things. Nothing major, no terrorist bombings, no kidnappings. Just making money in the margins.
Would this be the Archimedes Syndicate?
That would be the Archimedes Syndicate, yes.
I have heard of them. We do our best. Again, they're the megacorps. Then there's the crime syndicate.
Yeah, and there's always going to be a gray market economy when you have multiple classes of citizens.
Yes, we do our best to take care of everyone here, but yes, these things do happen when the system falls short. But we are doing our best to make sure the system serves everyone, just like in the core.
Does he actually believe that, or is he just trying to sell me that?
Roll wits empathy.
I like wits empathy. I'm good with that particular set of skill, I think. That's not my character sheet. That's my character sheet. Oh yeah, I'm not actually bad at this. 15?
Okay.
So 3 successes?
Well, he's not necessarily hiding it. So, have you ever talked to someone who firmly believes that systemic injustice isn't real? and that racism is only about people can only personally be racist, and the system is not racist, so they can't be racist.
Yeah.
This is one of those guys. So he believes what he's saying.
So obviously the system works because he believes the system works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, you know, but it's not because he has any privilege as a vanilla human. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Because only a person can be racist. Systemic racism is over. Spoiler, chat, it's not! So yeah, he's one of those.
Okay.
Hence, you do think, he was surprised that, you know, oh, there's a bad police chief. Wow, I should look into that. Because, yeah, an individual can be racist.
Yeah.
So his deal is that, you know, vampires and humans have equal rights in the system to eat ordinary vat food.
Yeah, basically. You can
Did
eat
you just
whatever you
say
want.
that vampires and humans have equal rights to eat humans?
Well, no, it's basically, you know, humans and vampires have equal right to eat cake, and only cake. So yes, and you know, so yeah, he's taking note of the things you've mentioned so far, and there is a kind of, you know, future intercom. He's like, he's like, Percy, I'm in the middle of a meeting. Sir, you really need to turn on the TV. It's like, I'm sorry, Captain. I don't think Percy would interrupt us if this wasn't important. And he, you know, clicks on a TV behind you guys. It kind of like opens out of a wall. Or actually,
so
no.
Terrified it's going to be the four of us.
The wall itself, part of it was a screen that was just projecting wood, so it's basically a TV in the wall. And there is a news report of a very large heist of Paragon Incorporated weapons. A very large shipment was thefted. A very large shipment went missing early this morning, and the police are on it. You know, citizens, please call this number if you have any information. You know, any information that leads to an arrest will be rewarded with, you know, 1,000 credits.
For once, a robbery that the player characters were not responsible for.
Oh, don't say that, because this may come back to haunt us as something that's ancillary responsibility.
Yes, we were in the wound. We were in the magical evil door under the city.
But at least it didn't
suspect...
say, like, 4 hooligans arrested at local bar. So, you know.
The authorities suspect that the theft happened around midnight. So yeah, you were in the wound then. So it couldn't have been you.
Well, that's useful.
He's like, oh dear. I'm
That's
sorry,
not
Captain.
good.
I think we will have to cut this meeting short. Gladys, I think we have some work to do. I think some extra work has come in for us today, and Gladys is just like, ugh, this. Yeah.
Masterson's just like, this is going in my report.
By the way,
Gladys
this doesn't look good.
says, I don't know, sir. Do you think it might have been It's like, I really hope the megacorps aren't doing this to this isn't corporate espionage. I've seen that.
This is a smash and grab robbery.
There's a lot of rumor, unsubstantiated rumor going around that our two favorite megacorps are willing to fight dirty with each other with us as the prize, and again, would love to have an impartial judge in town for a bit, because yeah, I'm hoping this is just a smash and grab, but the bloggers are gonna have a field day with this. Like, yeah, probably. So I'm sorry, Captain. We'll have to cut this short. If you, as soon as you want to leave for Dysnomia, this is undoubtedly going to increase security across the planet. But I'll make sure you have clearance to go to Dysnomia with your ship. That won't be a problem.
All right, then I will give my regards and I will head out.
Okay, and
unless someone stops me on the way.
No one stops you. The secretary gives you a polite nod, but there are already like several people lined up at her desk with various tablets and phones. One of them is a reporter. Several of the more of them look like other levels of civil servants. And like liaisons. So she's kind of like fielding. It's like, look, he'll see you in a minute. We just heard about it. So damage control has already begun. Investigation and damage control have already begun.
Excellent.
And another Fadir NPC.
As I get on the elevator, I will text my companions. You guys didn't like break into Paragon Consolidated last night while we were in the wound, did you? I lost track of you for a minute or two while we were in there.
You immediately get a response, not that I'm aware of, did we?
You get an immediate long-winded response from June that basically boils down to, I was kind of busy at the time.
Several people are typing.
You get several emoji from Sungrazer. None of them have anything to do with your question.
Sun emoji, sad emoji, rain emoji.
Cucumber. Yeah.
I was thinking like eggplant.
No.
Oh, fair.
We don't need the
Masterson
eggplant
and
emoji.
Sungrazer don't have that kind of relationship.
Well, we probably do, but we don't send text. We don't send emojis about it.
There's that. Yeah.
Bomb emoji, bug emoji.
We're quiet, classy.
Chat, I apologize in advance if I don't get to all 7 NPCs tonight.
There's only one I care about.
You. Eggplant. Anyway, yeah. So yeah.
Oh.
If you turn on the news, you all can see this report.
I think it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I think most of us are still dead to the world.
Yeah, you're just like, what? Oh. So.
I definitely have a jellycat sleeping on my face.
8 o'clock. Time to take a nap.
Yep. So yeah, Masterson. As you're leaving this building, you've been here. You know, it was pretty quiet, relatively quiet when you got in because it's relatively early in the morning. Though they do have a night shift. And you've been here, I think, more in the afternoon where things are more like standard busy. Things are starting to head towards a fever pitch as you are sauntering out of the building because a big thing just happened. And it seems like the news got to it first.
That's not good.
And there's a whole lot of ass covering that needs to happen now.
Then I will return to the ship after I pick up breakfast.
Mm-hmm. Lots of places to do that.
Yeah, so.
And
Also,
most of them are empty because all the civil servants in the area have fires to put out.
Yeah, see. Honestly, you probably didn't actually receive any responses to your question, you know, was this you?
Was this us?
Linked article, was this you guys?
Yep. So the rest of you, whenever you manage to wake up, find that, you know, someone stole a whole bunch of megacorp weapons in the middle of the night.
Not great.
Middle of a night that we were completely out of play for
Mm-hmm.
most of, as far as most of the system is concerned.
Does anyone look into it more than just the article that Masterson sent you?
Sure, look on the darknet and see if anyone's selling weapons.
No one's selling weapons. But since the darknet you frequent is a lot of Supernats and hiding, there are links to blog posts saying that it's the Supernats' fault.
Of course there are.
There are also blog posts, conspiracy blog posts that say it's the it is the megacorps fighting each other. And then blaming some say they're fighting each other and blaming it on the Supernats. And it's just a whole lot of hate between different groups.
I will check the local mercenaries guild postings.
There is not a lot. Like, the unions here, one of the problems with the system is that unions are being phased out in favor of, like, private security, because Paragon is here and they're like the kings of private security. And also, well, basically the unions began to help the government keep track of Supernats who still wanted to work. And those unions got big enough that the Supernats were able to sort of take them over for themselves and not just be puppets of the government. But now the local government is just, well, what if we just didn't contract with the unions? And the unions are having a hard time getting their ground back when they could just be replaced with private security and or synthetic humans. Of which there are a lot of synthetic humans in the system. Mostly contracted by the megacorps who have stuff here. Not enslaved, mind you. They just, want to work for us forever until they die. Hashtag content warnings galore in this system. Yes,
can I check smuggler contacts and see if anyone is trying to get large amounts of weapons off-world, just out of curiosity?
I'm not going to make you roll for that. No one's... There have been a few big weapons thefts in the last few months.
But not like right now, as though whoever just did this heist wants to get them off-world.
There's been weapons thefts, but no weapons sales.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if someone has a ship ready to get these weapons off.
No, that's the
so
that's
they're staying
the thing.
on planet.
Your contact is a little creeped out by this, because usually you steal something and then you sell it, even if you lie low for a bit. No one's selling, so is someone stockpiling?
I have a question related to that then.
Yes, Klaus?
From what I can find, does it seem like either of the megacorps would benefit from having a large stockpile of weapons?
I mean, no one really doesn't benefit from having a large stockpile of weapons.
So I have a question.
I mean, a megacorp, while Paragon has the best security, that doesn't mean that Omcon doesn't have its own subsidies everywhere in everything. It's just that Paragons are better. Because
I don't think it's necessarily about security. It's about whether or not it would be in anyone's interest to do something more offensive rather than just security.
It doesn't seem like again, why would a megacorp steal from another megacorp when it could just bargain and buy for cheap? Or make its own knockoffs? So it does seem like this is a weird move. Well, it seems to you guys like a smash and grab, but a whole lot of people in the system are blaming a whole lot of other people for it. And it's kind of showing lots of confusion that maybe in some cases leading towards hysteria and more people wanting to maybe blow some people up that they don't consider to be people.
So it could be a crystal nut kind of situation?
Maybe leading up to that, but who's behind it is not really clear.
Are there code monkeys on this planet?
There must be. Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can contact people to see if anybody is trying to hack into the security data surrounding this thing.
Just us, probably.
Eventually, if we don't find data that other people have stolen, yeah. But
I am
like,
going to take
hack
a
the
saunter
clocks.
outside the ship to a very specific pawn shop.
This is no time to go antiquing, Dune.
Well, also, are you bringing the thing you said you'd get them?
I already dropped that off 3 episodes back.
Okay,
Yeah, we already dropped it off.
Which one did you drop off? Because you ended up with like 3 or 4 of them.
We
One of the basic
gave
ones.
them the low quality, mostly finished and repaired one from the
Okay.
other place, while we kept the high quality, the schematics, and the actually finished one for ourselves. Also from the repair place. But I believe we also gave them the tools to get it open, the proprietary tool set that we stole.
Yeah, that's right. You walked off with that too.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, because Puka put together a copy for us, so we gave them the official one.
Petruchio, are you asking whose security data are you asking them to hack? Like from the scene or from the cops?
From the scene.
From the scene.
Oh, and I'll contact the military, the actual Imperial military.
Okay. Yep. You have them on the line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
send them a
there's
note.
is this
What the fuck?
about the weapon? Yeah, we're looking. They are looking into it too. They are They're working in tandem with the police. These were not technically Actually, they were military grade weapons, but they didn't belong to the military. So they are working with the police, but they are not launching their own investigation yet.
Loop me in on that. Any information you find on that.
Mm-hmm.
I will also suggest to the local code monkeys that even though we may not like Paragon that much, it's likely that if this crime isn't solved, it's going to be used by people to do things that aren't great.
Oh, yeah.
That tends to be the case when someone feels large enough with weapons.
The Supernats are the easiest scapegoat, and none of them are even left on the planet anymore. Like, yeah.
But they're not the only possible scapegoat. So yes, I'm not actually telling my teammates that I'm going to the very specific pawn shop, but I am going to the very specific pawn shop.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stroll in. Jelly Kitten is probably sticking its head out of my pocket. And if the person's waiting for me, I will, like, depending on how you want to RP it,
there's Sarah is, just behind the counter.
I don't.
Hey, what's that?
I suppose you've seen the news stories splashed all over the everything.
Yeah, that's like, wow. Do you know something about it? Do you have something you want to move?
I was hoping that you might have something you'd want to move. Sadly, I had to leave most of my favorite equipment back in the home system. They don't accept mercenaries guild weapons passes here to
Yeah, I heard that the Mercs Guild is getting the shit end of the stick like all the other unions is kind of bullshit, but
at least here anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't suppose you would have anything to offer, as it were.
Sorry, sweetie. That, from what I understand from the news, that's all military-grade weaponry. And we don't really hand that out to people working the street for us. Even
I
if
was
we
not
did have
then.
it.
Huh?
Even if we did have it, like, I mean, if you're looking for something a bit more practical, Like, we could go in the back and I could hook you up.
I have some of the more practical things of my own. Those are not that, you know.
I mean, are you in the market for a rocket launcher? Because, like, I could put some feelers out.
I know.
I just don't have one in stock right now, sweetie. I'm sorry.
I prefer
it's a
my
kitten. Is it a kitten? Is that kitten made of dough? Okay.
I'll pull it out
Aww.
and give it a little stroke. Be a little gentle with it. You know, offer it here to pet, but
it's a baby, I think. This is
yes,
so disturbing but cute at the same time. Okay.
I believe it is.
But yeah, I mean, do you want a
no,
rocket launcher? Because, like,
I prefer my weapons a little more precise. Specifically the pulse rifle, if you are familiar with it, which I believe might actually classify as a military-grade weapon.
I mean, I might be able to drum one up for you. So you need a plasma rifle?
No, it's a pulse weapon is not a plasma rifle, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, a pulse rifle.
Yes.
So you want to order a pulse rifle?
If you happen to find one, I would be open to trading for it, as it were.
Okay, I mean, it'll take me a little while to figure it out, but give me about a week. Things are gonna be a bit hot with that. And she points at a tiny TV with the news report, like, that's going on. It's gonna be hard to move anything, but, you know, y'all did good work for us, so I can probably work something out.
Yeah, no. But no, I was just saying that the pulse rifles, for the damage they do, are probably classed as military-grade weapons, so if she can get one, then she has to have an in with some kind of military grade.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're the Archimedes Syndicate.
Fair.
So, like, I can try? I mean, yeah.
I would also accept parts. I will write out a list, basically, of some of the basic components, because I actually did bring the parts to it.
That's
so I can assemble it into a rifle if I need to. Yep. And written down and underlined are the power cores, because I only brought like 25 shots. Mm-hmm. And it consumes 1 power core per shot. So it's a hot shot.
Oh, that's right. You used it against the Blighter cult's warehouse. And
yes.
I had to give a building health levels.
Yes.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah, it's a hot shot weapon. You have to reload it every round.
That must be military grade.
Yes. No, like there's no way it's not military grade.
Alright, I mean, I've got, the practical stuff is what I've got on hand, but I mean, if you're looking for that, I could try. I don't know about that, but I'm sure I could find something.
If you could source some parts, I would accept those as well.
I mean, that's really, like, if it was us, I mean, I don't think we would have let it get on the news. Like,
that's fair, and
jobs.
I will say that I would never suspect you of such unprofessionalism. However, I thought that if you are the first names, perhaps, in the distribution business, as it were, so that if such unprofessional people were on the lookout, they might have reached out to you first.
Yeah, I mean, it's early days, so.
Fair enough.
I don't know. This all looks like more the corporate espionage bullshit. Like, I don't know, like, those 2 megacorps, like, there's 2 megacorps in system, and they're getting mean.
But on the other hand, they could simply ship in their own stuff, and they would not have to splash it about on the news, and also...
Well, I don't know, like, but what if it's not about the equipment? What if
losing faces to word of losing the equipment?
Yeah.
I mean, that would explain why it was...
It's a psychological play, not actually a material play.
If that were the case, then why are all the news outlets and the online spaces being filled with the idea that the supernaturals are responsible for it? I mean, presumably they are very easy scapegoats, but I would assume that if one megacorp was trying to make the other look bad, then they would have the resources to point the news and the other institutions and in the direction of how bad the other megacorp is, as opposed to how bad this unrelated group, as it were, is in relation
Well, I
to.
mean, all the shit I've seen so far about it being Supernats isn't coming from the official news sites, or at least not the police reports and stuff.
Fair.
So,
But then I believe they are currently on a pretend it doesn't exist sort of stage of retaliation.
I don't know. War is good for business.
I suppose.
I'm not saying I like that part of the business, but
I suppose.
I
Still,
mean, in that case, it could be Paragon staging it to get people to buy more Paragon weapons to protect themselves from the evil Supernats. Like, I don't do corporate espionage, but I know people who do. It gets fucked up.
This is
People
fair.
are ridiculous. And they are completely just, like, untethered from reality like normal people like us. Who, like, have to work jobs where we don't eat. Like, they're just...
Indeed.
They're out and out of... They're beyond outer space.
That's fair. So, indeed, let me know if you see any of these parts available, or specifically the ammo. Very important. And I suppose we'll see how it all shakes out in the coming days.
Yeah, just be careful out there. You and your friends be careful out there, because people are getting mean. Again, meaner, because of all this bullshit.
Indeed.
Bye, little kitty.
I will scoot the Jellycat, and Jellykitten will probably have left, you know, a bit of jelly.
Yeah, they kind of leave a slime trail.
A little bit of a slime trail. Put it back in my slimy pocket, and head out back to the ship.
Yeah.
If any of you knows Dune was gone, he's not going to be terribly forthcoming about where he went, because it was something of a bust.
Okay. The party has reconvened. I think.
Yeah.
I haven't gone anywhere. So.
You wake up and or return. Designated slime pocket. I should really put chat on the screen. I'm bad at this. Okay.
I mean, you know, if you have a designated slime pocket, that means you can designatedly grab a handful of slime and throw it at somebody. So, you know.
Yeah.
Who's Daddy's favorite hand-to-hand combat weapon? Is it choo-choo? Is it choo-choo? Anyway.
Yeah.
It's mildly unfortunate that Dune is not forthcoming about his thing, because a lot of useful information came out, but Dune may not recognize it as such.
I mean,
anyway,
if you ask him, he might, you know.
Anyway, this is a role-playing game. Roleplay.
So Dune probably makes it back after Masterson shows back up. I mean, Masterson showed back up, and then Dune kind of just slipped away, while everyone else was doing their, you know, phone calls and internet stuff, and Dune's just like, I'm gonna go shake somebody down.
Have I gotten any information on the heist? Also, how does that jibe with our travel plans? When is the most convenient window to go over to Dysnomia?
There might not be a convenient window anymore unless someone has an in, because it looks like they're locking down transports between planets or and out of the system until this is somehow resolved. At least for the next few days.
What can we do?
Does anyone have a way for us to get over to Dysnomia and back?
The Code Monkeys are working on it, but it's going to take them a few days, because there's not a lot of Code Monkeys are Supernats, and a lot of the Supernats are not here no more. So.
Yep. I do ask that. Just in case someone has ideas, Masterson. I mean, has ideas.
I'm sorry, I've been waiting for you all to stop talking so I can say something. Yes, I have official clearance from the government to go to Dysnomia to inspect the spaceport and the shipyards.
Well, that's very convenient.
I don't want to know what kind of terror you rain down on people to get this kind of treatment.
I sent them a fruit basket.
The raining is my
terrifying.
Doom will come back after that pronouncement.
Currently, the military is inspecting is working in coordination with the local cops, but they're not opening their own.
That's a great combination.
Welcome back, Dune. Didn't realize you'd left.
Jelly cat.
Hello, Jelly Kitten.
Find out anything useful?
I suppose it makes the most sense. I went and spoke to somebody who might have had the goods, were the goods to be had, but their goods are not to be had, unfortunately. The goods are not to be had by anybody, and the person in question seems to think it's some sort of corporate bullshit.
And you?
However, I do have to doubt that I don't know if it's corporate bullshit or if it's not, because the weapons are not resurfacing anywhere. They're not being sold, but also it was something of an amateur hour operation, given that it ended up on the 8 o'clock news.
So it's a faction in the government or anti-Supernat militia.
I don't know if it's either.
Has to be.
It's the person I spoke to advanced the thought that perhaps it was the corporations trying to make each other look bad, as the official sources are all concentrating on that particular angle, and the only anti-supernatural, sentiment is coming from the unofficial sources of the blogs and other such non-state-controlled media, as it were.
Editorials.
Editorial.
Yeah, but does the government and megacorps here even want to recognize that there's hate toward Supernats?
No. There's a lot of folks, and I suspect there's a lot of people in the government who don't believe that there's a systemic problem with the way the government is set up.
So if it has anything to do with systematic issues against Supernats, then it's not going to show up in the official news channels, is it?
Quite.
No.
Fair, but I was thinking that if it had been any kind of way sponsored, that the corporations who have more money than perhaps God would have the money to push their agenda on any sort of news channel they chose to push it on.
Which means they don't have an agenda.
This is fair. If they had an agenda, it would be pushed through unofficial channels as well, because they have enough money to buy themselves bloggers by the thousand.
And that means it has to have been someone trying to arm themselves. And we know it wasn't Supernats.
I didn't look
Do we know
deeply,
this?
but I haven't been able to find anyone who might be in need of weapons.
I can think of at least one group of people that would be desperately happy to have a just pile of weapons show up at their door unexpectedly.
They're probably not the people who stole them, though.
They're probably not the people who are competent, who are going to sneak into a Paragon Arms warehouse and walk out with them without, spirits showing up and saying, "Hey, these guns are cool." But I could see where the blame could go that direction if somebody wanted to make that claim. However, I'm pretty sure it wasn't them,
Also,
as they were busy with us when the theft occurred.
quite. Also, Dune, you said something interesting, which was that if the corporations stole their own weapons or stole somebody else's weapons in order as PR, they would have pushed their agenda. The only agenda that's being pushed is the idea that Supernats stole the weapons.
That's the only agenda being pushed through unofficial channels. The official channels do not agree with them. The disagreement thereof I would think, bear out my associates' suppositions that the group who went after the weapons in the first place was something of amateurs, as, the theft was discovered, presumably fairly shortly after it happened, and the media got hold of it before the government did.
Correct me if I'm wrong, GM, but not only was the thing discovered, there was no attempt to conceal that the theft had happened.
Not that you're
Seems like they
aware
didn't have
of.
a chance.
But no news reports have yet come out, and someone tried to bury the story because it just happened so early in the daily news cycle. Actually, no, it's 24-hour news cycle. Yeah, it is all kind of weird. It did happen rather quickly.
Regardless,
seems
shouldn't
that
this
whoever
make us want to get off the planet more speedily. I mean, I don't particularly want to be here when there's people running around with weapons that could get pointed at us.
You know, I wrote this bit of the plot before I watched the first season of Peaky Blinders. And now I realize, I wonder if I should... Anyway.
Well, I don't know who in the cast has seen Peaky Blinders.
Is it the IRA? It's interesting. Anyway. Bunch of military grade weapons go missing. Pandemonium ensues.
Fair.
But and it is safe to assume that there are news corporations on this planet that are subsidiaries of both the megacorps who live here or who are stationed here. But even then, like, everyone's kind of going with like the basics right now. It's like it basically what it looks like is there was a shipment ready to leave, like being packed up into a truck, packed up to leave a shipment of Paragon weapons. Paragon has not yet released who these weapons were going to.
If they do,
but they have they have multiple factories on planet, more and more staffed by synthetic humans, but to keep their tax breaks and such and be allowed to do business here, they have to employ a certain percent of natural humans, as they say.
Locals. Question. Has the
basically the police and everyone are putting out APBs. They have not yet released any APBs or sketches of the perpetrators. Just there's basically a big truck that's supposed to be full of weapons that is missing. So
my question was actually going to be: has Paragon released a statement going, "Oh, we are definitely the injured party in this. You know, woe is us."
Yeah, they're definitely doing that. And also,
okay.
You know, we will prosecute the perpetrators to the full extent of the law, etc., etc. There's basically a planet-wide APB out on this, what is basically a flying truck.
Right.
Were there any deaths involved in the theft?
There were no deaths reported thus far.
Was the truck supposed to be driven by somebody, or is it one of those self-driving ones?
It was supposed to be driven by someone. The story, this is what some people are starting to speculate a little bit. What they think might have happened was the thieves were expecting a self-driving truck. And when the driver went back out to get in the truck, it was gone. And no one's, like, the standard procedure for that would have been then, okay, tell his people in charge. It would be normal for them to call the person in charge of, you know, someone from Paragon what happened, not the cops.
Right.
So it's unclear how the story got out. Because
did it hit all the news networks simultaneously, basically?
Huh?
Did it hit all the news networks simultaneously, basically?
No, it started with one, and then it spread very quickly because, you know, blood in the water.
Someone had.
Who were the Johnnies on the spot?
They haven't cited any yet. It's still been like
No, I meant who is the first news network? Johnny on the spot, as it were.
Oh, okay.
That phrase makes me uncomfortable, and I don't know why.
Sorry.
I've just never heard it.
It makes me think of a portable toilet.
It started on
Sounds
Channel
like the name of
17.
a company that you would, you know.
It started on Channel 17 News.
I assume Petruchia would have, you know, hacked them probably at this point.
I assume that they're among the targets for the Code Monkeys, yeah.
Anyway, it is 10 o'clock. Are you going to Dysnomia or not?
I think we should go to Dysnomia.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go to Dysnomia. We have set our wheels in motion here, such as they are.
Yep.
And we'll probably have to have let a few days pass before we actually get anything back from them.
Oh, I will put in a requisitions report for the Imperial listening post. I need an undisclosed amount of firearms, ammunition, and body armor for a off-the-books operation for some subcontractors who are going to go take care of a problem.
They're going to need so
I'll fill out the requisition report for it and everything and roll the bureaucracy check. I'll be more than happy to do so.
they'll so you'll need the bureaucracy check to talk to someone who does off-the-book operations, and then they'll need to know what that is.
Excellent. Would you like me to roll that check now?
Sure.
Okay. Bureaucracy an actual skill in this game, or is it?
I think it would be politics.
Oh yeah.
No more bureaucracy.
Or wait,
Okay.
is politics a skill here? Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It's the only mental skill I don't have at least 1 dot in.
That's okay. I have 5 and 2 specializations.
Good. I have -1 to all of my mental checks anyway at the moment, so
And
Yeah.
-3 for
Means
unskilled.
Buttspace really wants to go to Dysnomia, but he's like not being aggro, but he's like, like that'd be really
I don't
cool to
even
just not
disagree
be
with him.
here right now.
I just didn't want to get in a fight with him in the middle of the coffee bar.
Yeah.
Or a conversation, I should say, because it wouldn't be a fight because I agree with him.
Yes, Master.
32.
So chat, you roll a d10, you add your dots, and then 1 success is 8, and then it goes up by 3, so 20 is 5 successes, which is an exceptional success. A 32 I have on my chart
Fine.
is 9 successes. So yes, you do get so you get put in contact with someone called Captain Talmot.
Excellent.
And you get a private channel with them, and he's like, things are kind of nuts right now.
Yeah.
So I really need to know what's going on before I can lend you some resources. Not saying we won't do it.
I have some off-the-books contractors who are doing a gig for Task Force Valkyrie, and I need to equip them appropriately for the shit they're about to walk into. Because this
You
is
get the thing in the text message where there's a ... because someone is like, they've read it, they're still reading it. He's like, I will have to go through back channels with Task Force Valkyrie to validate that first. So guess what you just found with your 32.
I found the Task Force Valkyrie guy. Yay!
Unfortunately, this is someone who might also find out that you are not equipping Task Force Valkyrie.
He might, but no, I didn't say I was equipping Task Force Valkyrie. I said I was equipping subcontractors working on a project for Task Force Valkyrie.
Okay.
Which is exactly what's going to happen when I hand these guns to these werewolves and we go shoot the shit out of a bunch of spirits.
He's like, okay, but he will still have to double check this with Task Force Valkyrie.
Oh, that's perfectly agreeable. I've been sending semi-functional reports about things I have noticed on this planet while we're out here looking around at stuff, like the.
Wait, you have been sending this to Task Force Valkyrie?
No, I've been sending reports in general.
Yeah.
If they happen to go through my buddy who is working for Task Force Valkyrie back on Idun, he might be doing useful things.
Wait, you have a buddy?
Yeah,
Wait.
there's a captain in my background that's a Task Force Valkyrie operative who's retired.
Okay, I have to read your background again.
Yeah, there's that captain who works for a retired captain who gave me the credentials to get into Inspector General's office, which I then invested experience points into to make my own identity. That is not Task Force Valkyrie.
And
if he would like a situation.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's hiding from 3 ex-wives.
Okay. All right, I can see why. So is he active Task Force Valkyrie or ex?
No, he's retired.
Retired.
He's, as far as I know, officially retired. Yes. But no, if he wants an actual, like, what the threat looks like situation, I will clue him in on the wound that's hiding in the bottom of the.
Art. It's even funnier on stream because it's backwards. What?
If he really wants to ask about it, I'll provide him enough information to scare the shit out of him. Like, I have contractors on the ground, I just need to equip them. And no, I didn't rob Paragon.
If you'd robbed Paragon, you wouldn't have needed to equip them.
Right?
Okay, this is gonna take him a while, and also take the GM a little while to figure out. So, this will not be resolved before, this will unfortunately not be resolved before you go to Dysnomia.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, and I'll send him, hey, I'm heading to Dysnomia to go take a look at some things for the Inspector General's office. You have my comm link. Let me know what's going on.
Alright, will do. Good luck on Dysnomia. I hear things are pretty wild over there.
Well, they didn't lose an entire shipment of guns from Paragon Consolidated today.
Wait, say that again? Wait, what?
They didn't lose an entire shipment of guns from Paragon Consolidated this morning.
Dysnomia didn't. Logoi did.
Oh yeah,
Logoi absolutely did.
They might have to pay for it regardless.
Yeah, let's see if we can make sure that doesn't happen. I don't want people who didn't actually commit a crime to be blamed for it. You know, fair play.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Besides, it's messy and has paperwork attached. And every paperwork pusher I know hates paperwork. Then I'll provide our ship with the credentials to get us to Dysnomia.
We already have the credentials to get to Dysnomia.
Yeah, but the ship doesn't know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So is the plan to
What's
take
happening,
the
dudes?
Dysnomia?
Says the ship. What's happening, dudes?
I believe we're about to fly to Dysnomia.
Great. Do we have clearance codes? Because they seem to have locked down all space travel of the planet.
There you go.
It's a bit of a mess. Oh, nice. Official credentials.
I realize it's not typical.
I mean, what's typical on this ship, really?
I wordlessly hold up Jellycat to the nearest camera. Excuse me, Jellycat to the nearest camera. Well?
Oh, he's cute, isn't he? Alright. Off we go!
Like, what's usual on this ship? Jellycat.
How long is it going to take? Oh, you said it's a day trip.
Well, I mean, it really doesn't take more than an hour to fly a spaceship with this kind of tech. I said Mars. So it's like a couple hours. So between
Logoi and Dysnomia.
maybe like 90 minutes. It would be 2 hours, except, you know, there is no wait to leave and there is no line to land.
You know, the lack of traffic does wonders for travel time.
So you, so Dysnomia, you know, asks for your credential, says, oh, hey, ship, hey, unnamed ship, we know you're coming. We see your credentials. We have a berth set up for you in our ship docks. Just follow these directions. Do you require any maintenance on your ship? All right.
I'm thinking probably not. No.
Oh, thank you.
All right, good.
Any maintenance we need, Puka can do. And Puka won't fall down the hole in the middle of the ship that leads to the hedge.
Not accidentally, at least.
All right. So we have you in the we have you in the part of the docks that's just for docking, not for repair. All right. Let us know in the dispatch tower if you need anything from us. And welcome to Dysnomia.
Excellent.
And the ship descends and lands into a massive shipyard. Well, I say massive, but only about a quarter of it is being... What did I say? I have notes on this. There are not a lot of ships here.
From what we can tell, are they bothering to use Supernat detectors here?
You can't see from this distance.
Okay.
No one asked you to stop for a scan. Generally, the scans happen when you came in through the jump gate.
I mean, if this is where they're all going,
Yeah. So
there wouldn't be too much point, probably.
So only about a quarter of the shipyard is currently in use. And that's divided between people just parking and people coming in for repairs. And only a quarter of that, and that quarter is at a quarter capacity. Like, the rest, even just flying in past the rest of the shipyards, it's starting to fall apart from disuse. It's not like it's not unsalvageable, but it would need some upgrades before it could be back into full service. And you definitely see where the docks where they used to build the ships, and they're just echoingly empty right now. On your way in, and you see this kind of one little area, there is one in the, you could call it residential shipyard, on almost like completely opposite corners of this little block of the docks. There is one ship with the Consolidated logo emblazoned really big on the top and on all sides. And on the complete polar opposite from where it is sitting is the Paragon, is a ship with the Paragon logo plastered all over it very obviously.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we?
And these are definitely the fanciest, top-of-the-line, shiniest, cleanest ships in this yard.
Are they fancier, cleaner, nicer than ours?
Yes.
Damn it.
Sorry. Megacorps. Megacorps do have their privileges. That's how they stay Megacorps. Those of you who know such things, some of these other ships that are not you and not the Megacorp ships do look like they could be smuggler-friendly ships.
I look for friends.
Hit find my friends on my phone.
Let me see if there's any,
This will be a general, while here, I'll be looking for friends.
You just sort of take a look out the window or out the view screen, And you see a ship you know as a smuggler you know from Idun. Because on top of their ship is a logo. Their ship is called the Sad Pretzel. And on the top of the ship is just like this illustrated blue pretzel that just looks kind of like sad and confused. And you know it's because the person who captains it is a changeling, and they have a hedge beast that just sort of wanders them around with them, kind of like whining and like, but which way are we going? But do you really want to eat that? Like, wouldn't that... Are you sure you're not allergic to that? I don't understand. And just like, but he won't like get rid of it because he thinks it's good luck.
This has been lovely overall, but that has made my night. I just want you to know that.
Yeah. So the Sad Pretzel crew is here. That's cool. So you're not the only Eden people. And to bring in another NPC that I haven't gotten to until now, weirdly, that captain is this like... I think that is some you don't remember if he's ogre or elemental, but he's this dude who looks like this big iron he looks like a big iron robot in his face seeming. And he's often known, he's actually sometimes part of the Merchant Marine of Eden, and he's known as the Iron Butterfly of Eden System.
Excellent.
And for that, he didn't start out that way, but he has a little pin of a little butterfly on his flight suit. Because he thought...
I met him in the Garden of Eden.
He's scary. He looks scary as fuck, but he's actually kind of chill and, you know, has a sense of humor. And is constantly followed by a sad blue pretzel who questions all of his decisions and doesn't understand his decisions. And, well, changeling life, man. It is
better
now.
him than me.
Yeah. So with that, you safely land on Dysnomia. And it's yellow ochre wastes of dust plains and rocks. As you came in, you did see like one really big dome next to the shipyard, which is probably the former warehouse, or sometimes warehouse, and now shantytown. And you definitely see a series of habitation domes around it, and then further out, like a half, like if the dome is adjacent to the ship docks, then the habitation dome sort of forms circles in a half moon shape further and further out. And you see a lot of domes under construction. But yeah, you land, nothing bad happens yet, but this is where we have to end tonight.
Yep.
So, sorry, chat, I didn't get to all of the half-dozen NPCs. But they've just wandered into a world that is almost entirely now populated by Supernats, so... there will be room.
To be fair, they were dropping a lot of them today.
Sorry, chat, we've been away, but I had a lot of bodily failures, so I know you probably had been saving these up for a few weeks. But we will get to them with my editorial rights, because these are NPCs and not hack attacks. So yeah, chat. Thanks for watching tonight. Thank you if you're watching live and watching and accruing and spending channel points. Thank you. If you are watching from the future via VOD, thank you. I hope the future is better than the present. This is Magic Fish Radio. We run tabletop RPG streams on Tuesdays and Saturday nights. We will do Exit to Eden for the next two, for this week and next week. After that, we will go back to our old schedule of alternating Exit to Eden and Indie TTRPG Week, where we run tabletop one-shots. Sometimes it's us, sometimes it's a guest GM, it's, you know, whoever's up for doing stuff. If you are an indie TTRPG writer, contributor, developer, artist, or just stan and want to run a one-shot of your favorite game on our stream, let us know. Join our Discord, where there is now an application form for all this, and for the games that we currently have open for new players. on Tuesday nights, we are currently running V5, and we'll be running that until May 24th. After that, we will return that to its original planned schedule of a series of short campaigns. After Vampire, we will be running Aliens the RPG for 4 sessions, and then after that, the new G.I. Joe Essence 20 system for 4 sessions. So this goes into July. Go to the Discord. I wrote down the schedule there. So if I'm not remembering it correctly, the Discord will. Join the Discord. Please join the Discord. I'm terrible at all other social media. Please join the Discord.
Those both sound really fun.
So yeah, join our Discord, play with us, game with us. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, if I can just let me see, is my leash block on? I personally, I am at Ms. Chrysala on social media and also running all the Magic Fish Radio social media accounts, so you're probably still talking to me then. I also do stuff on other people's channels. I am looking for the thing I'm in now so I can boost that because I'm a good little stream minion and I should do that. It's on the Greater Restoration chat. Oh, I knew there was something I forgot. I should have brought this up, like, before. Okay. Just give me a sec. Everyone, think up your outros while I'm elsewhere.
I can... Okay.
Okay, I found it. Twitch.tv, _GR_crew. The channel is Greater Restoration. And we are doing a charity stream all the weekend of April 29th through May 1st for Extra Life, which is raising funds for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So it's for the kids. And I will be in a game on Sunday, May 1st, where we will be playing Lancer, which I have been looking forward to playing for a while because I watched a whole lot of Death from Above, and then played a little bit of Battletech. Yes, that one, Battletech. Sorry, I've been GMing all night. Now to remember real life. So I've been looking forward to playing the Lancer version of this, and even the GM was like, so there's this thing called Heat, and I'm like, I know what that is! That's how you destroy your own mech! By doing stupid shit! Yay! And
I mean, people can help you with that with these flamethrowers, so...
That you were right.
So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to playing a very grumpy mech warrior from a prison planet. Haven't quite worked out all the details, that's what I've got so far. And it's for charity! So I'll finally be on a successful charity stream because I wasn't running the charity stream part. We've tried it on this channel before, it doesn't work. But yes, go watch me Sunday, May 1st, sometime in the afternoon, play Lancer. It's gonna be fun. And that's all I have to plug right now. So everybody else, let's start intros while I look for someone to raid. Let's go backwards. On my screen. Let's start with Sungrazer.
Hi, Sungrazer. Have been tonight played by myself, Puka. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, or Discord under PukaGar. Lately, I've started playing in a Trinity game called Lunar Rocks for Simulacra Studios, where I'm playing a hollow musician artist trying to make it on the moon of the future, rock. And also with Josh Hillerup, I started Changeling the Podcast. So you should check us out at changelingthepodcast.com or ChangelingCast on Twitter. It's been a month so far, and it's been pretty rad.
Yay!
That's it for me.
Changeling the Dreaming Podcast. Next, Masterson. Who are you when you don't have 800 aliases?
I am Zardoz. I run Duffel Bag Full of Zombies Press, which you can find on itch.io. I write role-playing games every so often. I try to occasionally have a bit of fun. Anything more than that seems to be pushing the envelope of having a life.
Next, Petruchio, who is currently not mostly dead.
True. So I'm Josh. You can find me as Neme, Mneme, almost but not quite like I am in the chat, on Twitter and various other social medias. I've been doing a lot in the public eye recently, although I have written a bunch of LARPs, some of which, at least one of which I think that I helped on is on itch.io.
Okay. Klaus.
Hi, I'm Dracus. I've been playing Klaus. I'm here on Tuesday nights for the vampire game, which is really fun, and you should totally join if you can. Or at least watch. Yeah, I'm the reason we now say, please Diablerize responsibly. You know, I play a trash gremlin Nosferatu who's making some decisions on life. Yeah, so we have fun in there, and I exist on Instagram and Discord as actual Dracus, and I've been working on some short films and such recently, so hopefully those things will exist in a form where I can share them on Discord.
Woohoo!
And last but not least, I'm Merc. This is basically the only place I stream. I'm Merc on the Discord. I do have other handles on social media, but they're not really very terribly useful. The most exciting thing about me is that I'm still, after 2 years, working on a novel, so we'll see if that actually gains any traction anytime soon. But beyond that, nope, this is the only place I am. This is the only stream you'll find me on. I like to watch Zombie York-based entertainment on Mondays. They got the reliables until June, and then something else will take over. Yeah, I help out with the Fantasy Network, which is the home for indie fantasy and sci-fi creators. I pinch hit occasionally if there's no other any streamers or GMs available. But you'll find me at Gen Con this year. I'll be running Demon Hunters: A Comedy of Terrors at Gen Con. Yeah, but I did, Gen Con had some pretty decent turnout last year, and I searched the webs after that for any kind of outbreaks that happened at Gen Con, and I found some anecdotal stuff, but nothing big enough to hit the news. Not like Dragon Con that same year. So
when is Gen Con this year?
Gen Con's in August. It's usual time this time.
Yeah, it's usually around August 1st.
The first weekend of August.
Yeah.
As far as cons go, we're not going to be at Gen Con, but Lisa and I will be at Worldcon in Chicago.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah. We immune-compromised spoonies, are not really feeling the love, but,
Gen Con, as far as I know, is still doing its online component.
Maybe I'll do that. We've run a lot of Demon Hunters here. If you want to see what that's like before gaming with Merc later.
Yep.
But I will be boycotting conventions until the plague is actually under control, which it is not. And recently, apparently the CDC changed how it collects its information on it to make it even harder to judge what's happening. And anyway, back to Unreality.
Yep.
We're going to raid the Raven channel, and they are playing, I believe it's a D&D game? We'll see.
Oh, Raven, they are running currently. Did they put a thing in Discord?
Yeah, because they're
welcome
also,
to Madison.
They're also the Fantasy Network.
Yeah,
so,
it's
D&D.
It doesn't say what they're running. It might be 5e, but it also says it's a horror urban horror.
Okay.
Be a surprise.
Yep.
So it's some sort of 5e, but maybe not strictly Dungeons and Dragons. That's always interesting.
Yep.
We
It
do
says-
like freebasing our systems here on this channel, so huzzah.
Delving into the town of Madison for more cosmic horror. So, although that might have been yesterday.
Okay.
We'll find out.
Surprise! Alright, so chat, get ready to raid. Again, join the Discord! Please! Twitter is stupid and Facebook is worse.
I promise to give you only the finest, the dankest memes and shit posting.
Merc is master shit poster on our Discord. But yeah, chat, so again, thanks for hanging out with us. I hope we gave you geeky escapism for a few hours. Until we see you next time, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and diablerize responsibly. Bye!